What is up, y'all? What is up? Hello, hello, hello. And I am back. We are back to watch the DNC today. Going on right now. They got, I don't know who that is playing music. But we're gonna have a watch party. I know I'm a few minutes late, but nevertheless, we are here. Hey, crazy homebody girl, we are here. We are live. We gonna do the damn thing. I put the link in the members only chat, and they are showing some video of Kamala. Let me actually see if we can make this happen like this. I think we want it like that. All right. Let me know if y'all having any audio issues. My audio okay? Can y'all hear okay? Can y'all hear it?
Hello, Democrats. Hello, Chicago. It's a great honor for me to be here this evening.
I just want to make sure y'all can hear it.
Long before I was the governor of Rhode Island.
Like I said, I put the
I was a little girl.
You know what? I'm just gonna put it in the chat in case anybody want to come up.
In a middle class family.
That's the former governor of Rhode Island.
Found his American dream.
We bike
in a watch factory in Providence.
We are bike.
And that job gave him a way to provide for our family, a community for him to belong to, and so much pride.
Oh,
like
boy.
So many Americans in the 80s, after 25 years of his hard work, his job and the job of all of his
got a real
friends
strong face. I shouldn't do this. This is not why y'all here to have me talk about these people.
My dad said to me, Gina, this happened because our leaders let us down.
She got a strong
face. My father was right. The Republicans in power who pushed failed economic strategy. Let's just cut taxes for the wealthy.
Who did I miss so far? Because I just got through doing an interview. Who have I missed so far? Did I miss Jasmine Crockett? Because Jasmine Crockett was supposed to be on today.
Manufacturing withered in Rhode Island and all across this nation.
I know Jasmine Crockett was supposed to be up tonight. Has she already come on?
Factories shuttered. Communities got hollowed out.
I would hate if I missed her already.
And people were left.
I saw Maxine Waters speak. I did see her.
Without hope,
she spoke during the 7 o'clock hour.
Without the dignity that comes with a decent job.
I think I know
and you know
Biden is coming tonight. Who else is tonight? I think Hillary is tonight.
How do I know
I think Bill Clinton is tonight as well. Hey, Miss Cookie Ray.
First Democrat,
she's the former governor of Rhode Island.
In a couple of decades, I inherited one of the worst economies in the country. It was a mess. But we got to work and we turned it around.
Yeah, she's the former governor of Rhode Island.
With a pro-business, pro-worker
you see a bunch of people from California spoke. Okay, so we didn't miss our girl.
Harris
I put the link in the chat if anybody want to come through.
We need an economy
for the watch party
are low
to watch with me.
Opportunities abound. An economy where people can show up to their jobs.
Marcia Fudge spoke. Did all of the Deltas do a good Delta ooh to her? Did they do a ooh to her? America. Jesse Jackson made an appearance. Okay.
You know how she
all of the Deltas throwing up pyramids for Marcia Fudge.
Just like me, Kamala Harris grew up
LaFonza Butler spoke. Okay. How was she?
Her mom worked work to
Girl, we
cure
don't care about
breast
what you got
cancer
going
by
on. That's why we
day
talking over you. We don't really care.
and feed her family at
I'm
night.
just saying. How was LaFonza Butler?
And as an adult, Kamala worked to lock up sex offenders and violent criminals by day.
I had it on mute when she was on because I work.
And she
Oh,
took care
okay.
of her sick
Oh,
mother
she
at
was good.
night.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to go back and watch her.
Kamala
Hey, Quake.
Harris gets it. She gets.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch
so
LaFonza
many
Butler. I want
Americans
to know how she did. So I
work
really want to hear her.
so hard every day, and they're barely getting by. And that is not right. It is a fundamental economic principle. Hard work ought to pay off.
A hard face done paid off too. She got a hard face, y'all. I don't like this hair either.
And that's why the vice president is committed to building the opportunity economy, an economy that rewards ambition, an economy that rewards hard work.
Really?
She believes in an America where everyone,
I never watched to this extent. It is really interesting.
You know, you have,
I've been to a DNC.
You got a chance to get ahead in this
You know
country.
what you think about it like? You ever been to like a church revival or a church convention? That's kind of what it's like, including the sex parties at the hotels afterward. That's what it's like.
She'll build 3 million new homes for the middle class. And she's going to forge an economy with fair competition, free from monopolies. Monopolies that crush workers and small businesses and startups.
What I will say, when you watch, especially on days like today and tomorrow, hey Morgan, look for people who do well. They end up becoming the power players in the party. Look for people who give speeches that kind of transcend the moment. They're in the, Kamala spoke at the DNC. I believe that was in 08.
The same
she
ideas
did.
That shipped my dad's job overseas.
I believe that was 08. Barack gave the famous speech in 04. Hey, Paul.
They don't work because
Wes Moore spoke at the last one.
Huge tax cut
he spoke in 2020. But what happens is a lot of these people speak earlier in the week and earlier in the day, and you may not hear them after 9 o'clock p.m. And so everybody's getting up there trying to have a moment. Let me turn her down because, girl, you ain't talking about nothing we want to hear. I feel like I'm.
But here's the thing. The most important thing. Kamala Harris.
Everybody's looking for to be that next one, to be that next person.
And Donald Trump is in
and make their mark so that they could be, maybe the next senator for their state. Maybe they can get a cabinet position. Maybe they can be somebody that's propelled inside of the Democratic Party. So we'll see.
Their American dream. So let's put her in the Oval Office. Thank you.
Right, exactly, Quake. But when you sit there in the convention, when you let me turn this down. I don't know what copyrights this is.
A lifelong Republican,
okay.
A former Trump voter, and I will not be voting for Trump in 2024.
My name is Norma. I'm from Carson, Washington, and
I don't want to, do nothing that's copywritten.
Trump voter. I will not be voting for Trump this time around.
I'm actually embarrassed to say that I did vote for Trump in 2016.
You should be.
Donald Trump has nothing but contempt for the American people, and ironically, for those who claim to be his base. He's really interested in fitting himself personally.
Everything he said he would do, he did not do.
You notice you're going to see all of these white people with regrets.
He can do the right thing anymore.
We've seen what Donald Trump really is, and it disgusts me to my core.
I don't think the man can be trusted. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. He's a very dishonest
These are white people. White people.
He disrespects women.
Voting against Trump and for Kamala Harris is the right thing to do.
The black people, I don't know what that. I don't know if that's copywritten or not. Girl, you can't be playing this music and
Please
stuff.
welcome New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
There go Kathy. That's Tracy girl.
Hello, Democrats. Are you ready to elect Kamala Harris, the first president of the United States? Yes, you are. Yes, you
Are you booing her now, Tracy?
Friends, like so many of us, my grandparents came from Ireland as teenagers with nothing but hope in their hearts and fire in their bellies. They built their lives in the promised land of Buffalo, New York. A union card meant good work at
Don't
the
talk to
steel
me about
plant.
Buffalo. We'll never forget
The
India
steel
Walton.
plant that lifted my parents from living in a trailer to the middle class. Like other families in my blue-collar community, they believed that with hard work, they could build a better future, not just for themselves, but for those with less hope and less opportunity.
This is not good.
I'm proud of my
Kathy.
roots and the values I learned. Grit, determination, compassion. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz grew up with those same values. And those values have
This is not a
always
good speech,
defined the
Kathy.
people of my state. Well, most of us anyway. Donald Trump was born a New Yorker, but ended up a fraud, a philanderer, and a felon. He wasn't raised with the New York values that I know. He never had to worry about childcare costs or groceries or rent. He never had to worry about anything.
She do sound like she's slurring.
But himself. Trust me, America. If you think you're tired of Donald Trump, talk to a New Yorker.
Her eyes look all wide and glassy and
We've had to
shit.
deal with him for 78 long years. The fraud, the tax
Technically,
dodging,
that's not
the
true. He
sham
moved to
universities, the shady
Florida some years
charities.
ago.
We've seen him stiff contractors, rip off workers. He abuses women.
She do look like she
brags
either
about it, and
forgetting her
then
words
takes
or
away
skipping the
their rights.
teleprompter.
And New Yorkers are sick of it.
Mm.
It's no wonder he had to flee to Mar-a-Lago. Sorry about that, Florida. Sorry about that. Trump hasn't spent much time in New York lately, except that is to get convicted of 34 felonies. And that's just fine with us, because New York's motto is Excelsior, ever upward. And Trump takes us ever downward.
Oh, girl, this is not a good
Because
speech.
here's what Trump never understood.
She sound like that at 8 a.m.
America isn't a luxury good to be bought and sold by the privileged and powerful few. America, we just can't afford another 4 years of that. We have kids to feed, roads to build, jobs to create, real problems to solve.
We do.
And we need leaders who can get it done. Trump
She's
talked
terrible
big
all the
about
time.
bringing
Listen.
back manufacturing jobs.
That eye on the left look like it's getting
But
away
you
from
know
you,
who
sweetheart.
actually did it? President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Kamala.
There's an L there, Kamala,
Look
not
no
Kamala.
further than the city of Syracuse,
Oh, God.
where a company called Micron is building a $100 billion microchip factory with union labor. It's the largest private investment in American history. And it's going to create 50,000 good-paying jobs.
But I wonder what it's going to do to the economy, though. This
Biden-Harris
sounds bad for the
administration
economy.
has made the most significant investments in our economy in generations. And as president, Kamala Harris will continue to build an opportunity economy for all. My friends, history's watching
That left
us.
eye is getting away from her. Look at
Together,
her. Look at it.
we must protect abortion rights. Together, we must protect the middle class. Together, we must protect the American dream. And together, we must elect Kamala Harris president of the United States.
I want to hear more about this factory that you were talking about, because we've heard some of the perils of some of these large microchip factories over in Africa and other parts of the world that are just atrocious for let me just turn this down right now, because I don't know if this gonna start singing music. Yeah, that's no, we can't play no Beyonce skank. Oh God, no. We can't play no Beyonce. Girl, you ain't gonna get me throwing off of YouTube. They'll throw my ass off for real. For real, for who that is. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I've been up since 4:45 a.m. I ain't gonna make it through the evening at this rate. She making me sleepier than I was before. Right, Miss Cookie Ray, like, girl, who is that? Girl, get it together. Get it together, girl. Let me turn this down even further, girl. I can't have Beyonce playing with me, honey. You know, listen. That's a quick way to get shut down, honey. Let me know when they stop playing Beyonce, because honey, we can't do it. We cannot do it, honey. You better run. You know, I might have to do a video. Believe it or Obama, there's a whole situation where there's a whole situation with Obama right now. And Obama really not wanting to throw his weight behind Kamala. It's well known within Democratic ranks. It's just not being talked about at this time for all of the reasons you can probably imagine. And I do want to talk about that only because why are you not there on the campaign trail? You know you are beloved in certain circles within this country, and we're trying to win an election, and you should be your ass out there on the campaign trail with her, Obama. But we're gonna have a separate video about that, because you know, all of the sources that you will talk to close to the Obama regime, or close to the Obama regime, says that he did not want to throw his weight behind her. But what happened was, when the base and the grassroots effort started and everybody just went, they wanted to full-throated have an open DNC, and it didn't happen. But let me turn this down. I know that's Kamala, but good, I'm gonna turn you up when they stop playing Beyonce. Girl, we can't be listening to Beyonce. I see you, Kamala. I'm just scared to turn this up.
Good evening, everyone.
Why she went? Girl, you know they gonna have something to say about that Quake. You know they're gonna have something to say about that khaki.
In this hall and everyone at home, this is going to be a great week.
I agree, Quake. Colors are everything. They needed to have her
to kick us
a royal blue or something.
Our incredible president, Joe Biden, who will be speaking later tonight Joe, thank you for your historic leadership, for your lifetime of service to our nation, and for all you will continue to do. We are forever grateful to you.
I'm surprised she's out there today. I don't think anybody expected her to be out there tonight.
Thank you, Joe. And looking out at everyone tonight, I see the beauty of our great nation. People from every
I don't think anybody
corner
did
of
quite.
our country and every walk of life are here, united by our shared vision for the future of our country. And this November, we will come together and declare with one voice, as one people, we are moving forward. With optimism, hope, and faith, so guided by our love of country, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Let us fight for the ideals we hold dear, and let us always remember
That bus tour
when
was
we
fast.
fight, we win. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Good night, everyone.
I'm very surprised at this, y'all. That's not normal. Let me turn it down. That might be Beyond Skank again. That's not normal, y'all. That's not normal for the nominee to do that. That is not normal at all. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Some might say that's a calculated risk. Because you open yourself up to. Now people are going, scrutinize every word, syllable, letter, and character of what she said. That's interesting. They're going to talk about what she had on. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about it.
Tuning in from all across America, welcome to the first night of the Democratic National Convention. Now, how is that for an opening act?
I think that's a calculated risk.
Now,
I didn't like
Vice
that.
President just said,
it would have been okay if she went right before him, but like in the middle of the program, just out of nowhere. I don't know how I feel about it. We'll talk about it.
And about a candidate who has devoted her life to public service.
Child, that's Fitz, honey.
You
see, he will come up behind a black woman because he was fucking a black woman all 6 seasons of Scandal.
We are going to talk about the choice America faces in this election.
I'm sure you are supporting the black woman.
Two very different candidates, but between two very different futures. We will hear from everyday Americans about what is truly at stake in this campaign. The future of our middle class, the future of reproductive rights, the future of our climate, our security, our schools, the future of our freedom, the future of our very democracy. We will see the vision of our nominee. It is a vision of stability, security, and opportunity for everyday Americans, where we continue to grow this economy by growing the middle class, and where the safety of our children, our families, and our communities.
I don't see him running for president one day. No. What if he doesn't?
It is a future where, instead of scoffing at allies and fawning over dictators, our president stands up for our
We got to talk about Kamala coming out, y'all.
And American democracy remains a beacon of hope and inspires the world to take on our biggest challenges together. We'll learn the story of a leader who has dedicated her life to doing the work of making good on the promise of America. A leader who understands the middle class because she grew up in the middle class. A leader who has taken on powerful
white women crying in the audience, child. They ain't cut away to it, you know. They love to cut away to white women crying.
And then, of course, we will hear again from the Democratic nominee herself, the next president of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. because she has a message for us. It is a message that's joyful, not mean-spirited. A message of public service, not self-service. A message of optimism and opportunity, not chaos and division. A message that has woken us up to who we are, to who we've always been. Because Americans are not a cynical people. We are not small-minded. And whether we realize it right now or not, we are currently already writing a new chapter of the American story. And we can dream as big as we want. So
we got to talk about this, y'all. We got to talk about this. I'm going to drop the link again in case y'all want to come up and talk with me. Because I am confusion.
Well, then I challenge you to make this the moment.
If y'all want to come up and talk about it with me, y'all can. Because, girl, we got to talk about this.
So I want you to text JOIN to 30330 and get involved. Because when we fight, what happens? We win. And we are going to win this thing together. And while we're doing it, we are going to have a whole lot of fun. So let's get started.
Listen, y'all. I mean, that was not normal, y'all. And let's talk about that. I mean, you can look at it so many ways. Fitz was good. You know, I ain't got no problem with Tony Goldwyn. Fitz was good. Here's my Steve Kerr. Dear God, hold on. What you got to say, Steve Kerr? We trying to talk about some stuff. I'm trying to play the music low. Now I don't want to get no copyrights. We're going to talk about it, J12.
It is so fun to be back here in the United Center. And as you guys know, a lot of good stuff has happened in this building.
Yeah, you won a couple championships. You won
you
a couple championships there.
Google Michael Jordan and you can read all about it, okay? So there was an amazing vibe in this building back.
Sir, fix your tie and your shirt.
I feel that same winning spirit here tonight. So the last time I was in a packed basketball arena was in Paris, France. 9 days ago, some of the best players on earth.
Small.
12
I don't even know what that means. What I can't even read all of that.
And the next night, I was back in that same building.
I don't even know.
12 more of
Tracy, you'll take care of that for me.
Our incredible American women do the same thing. And
let me know when you take care of that, Tracy. Take care of that, or Harold. One of y'all take care of that. I don't know what that is.
USA came together at the Olympics. We had players from across our wonderful country, players who have trained and fought relentlessly, shed tears trying to beat one another throughout their careers, joining forces to wear the red, white, and blue. And when we won, the American flag raised to the rafters, the national anthem playing, gold medals draped around the necks of our players whose hands were held over their hearts. It was the proudest moment of my life. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I could never have imagined.
Yeah, somebody needs to check me behind stage, checking these people before they come out.
Step
Yeah.
into a different kind of arena. And so here I am. I know very well that speaking out about politics these days comes with risks. I can see the shut up and whistle tweets being fired off as we speak. But I also knew as soon as I was asked that it was too important as an American citizen not to speak up in an election of this magnitude.
Did y'all take care of them,
The reason I
Harold?
said yes to speaking here tonight is that as a coach and former player, as a husband, a son, a father, even a grandfather, and as an American,
Harold, we said the same thing. He wears suits every
kind
game.
of leadership.
He has to wear a suit every game.
I believe that leaders must display dignity.
Okay, Tracy got him. Okay.
I believe that leaders must tell the truth. I believe that leaders should be able to laugh.
This plays well to the white base. White people love them some Steve Kerr, okay? One as a player, one as a coach. White people,
I believe,
you know, blonde hair, blue eyes, they love them some Steve Kerr.
Expertise, but with the full awareness that none of us has all the answers.
They love him, some of them, even though he stole that team from Mark Jackson. But that's a whole nother story.
And if you look for those qualities in your friends or your boss or an employee,
Mark Jackson built that team, and then they fired him, and he came in and won the next year. Just a mess.
In your president. And when you think about it that way, this is no contest. With Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, I see all those qualities. They have devoted their lives to serving other people. Whether Vice President Harris was defending her community in the courtroom, or Governor Walz was inspiring the next generation in the classroom, or on the field, for that matter. By the way, coach to coach, that guy's awesome. Although, I have to say, Coach Walz, way too much reliance on the blitz in '99 against Mankato East. You had a strong defensive line. I would have played more press coverage with your corners and then dropped the safeties into a Tampa 2. That's just me.
Sir, you coach basketball. Stop trying to.
I wanted you to know how I feel every day of the NBA season. All right. But listen, the joy.
That was a cute little part right there. I like that part, Steve Kerr. I like that. That was cute.
That is
hey, Samira.
And Tim Walz have.
Samira, what you think about Kamala coming out early?
What our country needs. Leadership. Real leadership. Not the kind that seeks to divide us, but the kind that recognizes
his wife gonna tear him a new one when she talked to him. Go be like, why you ain't fix your shirt?
With 12 Americans in Paris,
why your jacket not
putting
buttoned?
Aside rivalries to represent our country. Now imagine what we could do with all 330 million of us playing on the same team.
We got to talk about it, Samira.
Not as Democrats, not as Republicans, not as libertarians, but as Americans who know the greatness of this nation doesn't come from any one of us, but from each of us doing our part to build a more perfect union. That vision is what this campaign is all about. It's why I'm here tonight. And it's why I'll be getting out every day to help people get out and vote on November 5th and elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as the next president and vice president of the United States. And after the results are tallied that night, we can...
It won't be done that night.
In the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump, night, night. Thank you.
All right. That was cute. Your wife gonna tell you a new one. That tie all short and shit. Your jacket all open. Girl, your wife gonna eat you alive.
Let me tell you folks in Ohio.
Oh boy, area, we don't need to hear him. So y'all, we're gonna get those jobs coming. Y'all, listen, y'all. Hey, by the way, I thought it was appropriate to come out the first night. I was excited. She just thought, you know, it's gonna be mixed reviews. It's to me what matters most is how the American people see it and how the American people feel it, because how they react to it, because old school political pundits, people don't go come out and say, wait a minute, why did you come out early? You did. In my mind, and I can't say that I don't feel that way. I'm like, okay, you came out, you wanted to, you know, talk about Joe Biden, but it would have been more impactful if she came out. If Jill, because I'm probably sure they're gonna have Jill Biden introduce them. If she would have come out in between Jill Biden and Joe Biden, I think it would have had a bigger reaction, because we weren't expecting her to come out that early. But if she would have done that and then said some celebratory things about Joe, I think would have had an even bigger impact and been like, okay, you know, everybody right now, some of us are kind of like, I don't know. And then some people loved it. So I don't know, y'all. I don't have a problem with the tan. I think a woman can get away with a tan suit much more than a man can.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Oh, that's Steve Fain, huh?
Thank you. Good evening, America, and good evening to the people that make this world move, the working class. On behalf of 1 million active and retired members of the UAW,
You know the Republicans gonna lose their mind.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to be our next
Wait, it's muted. You can't hear?
President.
Can y'all hear?
And I want to say thank you to Joe Biden for making history by walking the picket line with the UAW. For the UAW and for working class people everywhere, this election comes down to one question. Which side are you on? On one side, we have Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who have stood shoulder to shoulder with the working class. On the other side, we have Trump and Vance, two lapdogs for the billionaire class who only serve themselves. So for us in the labor movement, it's real simple. Kamala Harris is one of us. She's a fighter for the working class. And Donald Trump is a scam.
Let me tell you something. The DNC is always filled with unions. That's probably the largest contingencies of people at a DNC are union members. It's always filled with union members. Always.
That's not just
so you gotta have the unions there. Always.
All we have to do is look at the track record. When Donald Trump was president, corporate America ran wild. Donald Trump did not bring back the auto industry.
Jeff.
When Donald Trump was president, auto plants closed. Trump did nothing. Trump told workers in Lordstown, Ohio, that he would be bringing all the auto jobs back. And Trump did nothing.
What does his shirt say?
In 2019, General Motor workers went on strike for 40 days for good jobs and a better life. And Trump did nothing. Talk is cheap. But in 2019,
look at the Texas delegation with their glowing hats, glowing cowboy hats.
I'll give you a clue. Her initials are Kamala
Harris.
Harris.
Said Trump is a scab.
In 2023, who helped bring jobs back to Lordstown, Ohio? Kamala Harris. And in 2024, who will stand with the working class in our fight for justice? Kamala Harris. And that's the difference.
Oh, you think it says Trump is a scab? Okay, it says Trump is a scab. Okay, that's what his shirt says. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm sure somebody made him put on that jacket.
In the words of the great American poet, Nellie, it's getting hot in here.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot, I want to take my clothes off. That was kind of cute. It was, Quake, that was kind of cute.
It's hot in here. It's hot in here because you're fired up and you're fed up, and the American working class is fired up and fed up. The American working class is in a fight for our lives. And if you don't believe me, just last night, blue-collar workers, the UAW members at Cornell University had to walk out on strike for a better life because they're fighting corporate greed. And our only hope is to attack corporate greed head on. Corporate greed turns blue-collar blood, sweat, and tears into Wall Street stock buybacks and CEO jackpots. It causes inflation. It hurts workers. It hurts
I think this is a good speech, though.
And it hurts America. And corporate greed is alive and well in the auto industry.
He's definitely speaking to union workers.
You know, last fall, we achieved life-changing gains in our strike at the Big Three. We even won a commitment to reopen a closed plant not too far from here. We were able to do that thanks to the support of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the thousands of auto workers that went on strike.
Yeah, I think he's definitely hitting all the points that he needs to hit and doing the job that needs to be done.
One company wants to go back on their commitments in our contract. And let me be clear, Stellantis must keep the promises they made to America in our union contract.
No, he has not spoken yet, so Jeff.
And the UAW will take whatever action necessary at Stellantis or any other corporation to stand up and hold corporate America accountable.
He using his moment to let them know he ain't here for it.
And when the UAW stands up, we know who stands with us and who stands against us. Donald Trump laughs about firing workers who go on strike.
Hold on, y'all. Let me go get something.
Kamala Harris stands shoulder to shoulder with workers when they're on strike. And that's the difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, the scab. Trump is pushing divide and conquer tactics of the rich. It's the oldest trick in the book. They want to blame the frustrations of working class people. They want to take those frustrations, they want to blame it on race. They want to blame it on LGBTQ plus people. They want to blame it on some destitute and desperate person at the border. They do that because they want working class people to be divided and to focus and keep the focus off the one true enemy, corporate greed. The rich think we're stupid, but working class Americans see this for what it is. This is our generation's defining moment. So I have a question for you. Are you ready to stand up, speak up, and show up and put Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the White House? We need a defender of the working class in the White House, someone who is one of us and someone who knows how to fight. And that fighter is the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Thank you.
All right. All right, that was Steve Payne, president of.
Please welcome New York Representative Alexandria
Come on,
Ocasio-Cortez.
AOC. I love her. Y'all know I'm a progressive, so I got to stand up for the squad.
Thank you, Chicago. Thank you, Chicago, for your energy. Thank you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for your vision.
We love her. She do look good, though.
Thank you.
Hair is
Thank
laid,
you.
honey. Hair is laid. I see them curls, girl.
Thank you. Thank you, Chicago, for your energy. Thank you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for your vision. And thank you, Joe Biden, for your leadership. You know,
That
6
red
years
lipstick is
ago,
cute, too.
I was taking omelet orders as a waitress in New York City. I didn't have health insurance. My family was fighting off foreclosure, and we were struggling with bills after my dad passed away unexpectedly from cancer. Like millions of Americans, we were just looking for an honest shake. And we were tired of a cynical politics that seemed blind to the realities of working people. It was then, only through the miracles of democracy and community, that the good people of the Bronx and Queens chose someone like me to elect them in Congress.
Ain't that your area, So Jeff? The BX.
And America, in my heart, I know from that same cloth of hope and aspiration, we will also elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as presidents and vice presidents of the United States of America. I am here tonight because America has before us a rare and precious opportunity. In Kamala Harris, we have a chance to elect a president who is for the middle
like
class
black,
because she is
but
from
the blouse
the
looks
middle class.
navy.
She
The jacket looks
understands
black. The
the
blouse looks
urgency
navy.
of rent checks and groceries and prescriptions. She is as committed to our reproductive and civil rights as she is to taking on corporate greed.
You know what,
And she
So
is
Jeff?
working tirelessly to secure a ceasefire in Gaza and bringing hostages
Thank you
home.
for bringing that up. You need somebody. Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it, AOC.
In
Talk
Kamala
about it.
Harris, I see a leader who understands. I see a leader
Oh, it's
with
all a
real
deep navy.
commitment
Okay.
to a better future for working families. And Chicago, we have to help her win. Because we know that Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets and greasing the palms of his Wall Street friends.
Has anybody else
And
mentioned
I, for
ceasefire
one,
Israel
am
or Gaza?
tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day
Come on,
to
AOC.
lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life.
Come on, AOC.
The truth is,
Talk
guys,
about it.
you cannot love this country if you only fight for the wealthy and big business. To love this country is to fight for its people, all people, working people.
All I need her to
everyday
do is
Americans like
slip in the
bartenders
Spanish for
and
me. Speak
factory
to the
workers
Hispanic
and
Latino
fast food
community.
cashiers
Just start talking
who
in
punch
Spanish.
a
That would go a
clock
long way.
and are on their feet all day in some of the toughest jobs out there. You know, ever since I I got elected, Republicans have attacked me by saying
Hey,
that
Ravine.
I should go back to bartending. But let me tell you, I'm happy to any day of the week because there is nothing wrong with working for a living. Imagine having leaders in the White House who understand that. Leaders like Kamala and Tim. But Chicago, just because the choice is clear to us does not mean that the path will be easy. Over the next 78 days, we will have to pour every ounce, every minute, every moment into making history on November 5th. But we cannot send Kamala and Tim to the White House alone. Together, we must also elect strong Democratic majorities in the House and the Senate.
And in the
so
Senate.
that
Talk
we can
about it.
deliver on an ambitious agenda
Talk about it.
for the people. Because if you are a working parent trying to afford rent and childcare, Kamala is for you. If you are a senior who had to go back to work because your retirement didn't stretch far enough, Kamala is for you. If you're an immigrant family just starting your American story, Kamala is
Speak on
for
it.
you.
Speak about it. Speak a word. Speak a word.
America, when we knock on our neighbor's door, organize our communities, and elect Kamala Harris to the presidency on November 5th, we will send a loud message that the people of this nation will not go back. We choose a new path and open the door to a new day, one that is for the people and by the people. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless. God bless you all.
Well, that's good. The only thing I missed from her, I wanted her to say, like, give me one line in Spanish to speak to the Latino, Latinx community, and the Hispanic community. That would have set me up. But that was great. I loved the AOC. She did what she needed to do.
Wow.
She talked about Gaza and Hamas.
How
She
about that
talked about
AOC?
Congress and having the fact that they need
Lord.
Congress and the Senate. She did what she needed to
So
do.
Kamala Harris's story
She did what needed to be done.
begins in a middle-class neighborhood in the East Bay. Yeah.
Hey,
In
friend.
a modest apartment above a nursery school, in a close-knit community where people looked out for one another, with a mother who instilled in Kamala Harris the core principles that have defined her life in public service. These are the experiences that made her the leader she is today.
Let me turn this down. I don't know if it's gonna play no you know, they be playing music and stuff.
Was a very hardworking, middle class, tight knit community.
I think I loved AOC. AOC did exactly what was supposed to be done. She handled business. She hit all of the talking points. She hit everything that needed to be hit. I'm great with her.
Is where it all began.
But I expect nothing else from AOC. AOC always goes out there and gives you what needs to be given. She always understands the assignment. I appreciate her for it. Appreciate it.
Life was not easy for them.
I appreciate her for it.
She loved her daughters fiercely. Kamala herself says that her mom told her that she may be the first to do many things, but to make sure that she's not last. She's always been that kind of person.
But yeah, I know I appreciate AOC. She hit all of the points. Somebody got to speak to the faction of the Democratic Party that needs to hear that we want to cease fire. Somebody has to say it. And nobody before her that I've heard so far had spoken to that. I don't think the Clintons have gone yet. I think they'll probably have the Clintons then Jill Biden, who will probably bring out Joseph Robinette. So I'm assuming because it's going on 10 o'clock, probably gonna, they've had AOC, probably gonna have the Clintons next. You may have a senator. They've had a former governor. You may either have a governor or a senator that come up there. Jill Biden will speak. She's probably going to introduce her husband. Child, look at that hair, Kamala. Girl.
Molested by a family member, and Kamala just jumped in.
Child, yeah. Child, it's gonna be 11 o'clock before Joe Biden get up there, girl.
That is Kamala. She can't help herself from standing
Child.
up for people and standing up for what
I know you've been at all kinds of practices. You've been at gymnastics. Child.
Is what led her to be
what they do is Ravine, they do have a schedule, but it's like blocks. So they'll say from 7 o'clock until technically closing gavel is supposed to be at 10:30. That ain't gonna happen. Hold on, let me turn this back up.
Good evening. I'm Stacy Johnson Batiste, and this is my mom, Doris Johnson. We are so excited and honored to be here with you. Kamala and I have known each other for a long time. We met at Berkwood Hedge School. We hit it off immediately and became each other's very first best friends. Our moms also became fast friends.
And on weekends, we would pile into my 1966 Mustang, and Kamala's mom, Shamala, would sit in the front with me, and Kamala and Maya and Stacy would sit in the back, and off we would go to a movie or some adventure.
Well, my mom still has that Mustang.
I love seeing this black mother up here.
Kamala and
Mother
I
Johnson.
both get our grit from our mothers. Kamala has always been a protector. One day at school, we made clay art projects during story time when they were outside on tables to dry. For whatever reason, a boy in our class took mine, threw it on the ground, and it shattered. Kamala jumped in between him and me and said something that made him so mad, he picked up a rock or something and hit her on the head. Blood came streaming down. The school called Shamala to come take her to the hospital. The stitches she got left a scar over one of her eyes. She still has it.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of person Kamala has always been.
We're going to be looking for that scar now, Kamala.
Someone who doesn't hesitate to stand up for what's right, to take up for the underdog, and to stand up to bullies.
Oh, Bill is on Wednesday? Okay.
I have seen it time and again, whether the bully
These
is
are the kind of
an
stories you get on
individual,
these nights.
a gang, or a corporation. She fights for all of us. Before we go, I know my mom has one more thing to say.
Kamala, your mom would be so proud of you.
Mother Johnson, you're supposed to be helping Mother Johnson. You're supposed to turn back and walk hand to hand with your mama. Make sure she get around that stage. Stacy,
please welcome.
Leave Mother Johnson out there by herself.
Hillary Clinton.
Come on, Hillary. You know she got on a sickening pants too. Look at her. Look at her. Hillary got on khaki too, or is that white? Yeah, Michelle and Barack is tomorrow. Michelle and Barack is tomorrow. Yeah, Bill Clinton is on with Tim Walz. Hey, Hillary. That look like egg. That's not completely white. That's like an off-white.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Or khaki. That looks like khaki, actually. I like Hillary with the longer hair like this. I like her with the longer hair like this. I really do. I didn't like her with the short cut. I like this haircut on her.
Thank you all so much.
It should have been Hillary. Hillary had the, y'all can say what y'all want to say about Hillary. Hillary took some stripes and some body blows so we would be here today, okay? Hillary had to teach America who they are and how misogynistic they are and how wrong they are, so that let's not forget also our girl
Thank you, my fellow Americans.
Shirley Chisholm. Let's not also forget our girl. There's a lot of backs that Kamala stands on. A lot of backs. You know, the Shirley Chisholms of the world, the Barbara Jordans of the world, those ladies from back, the Fannies of the world. You know, those ladies from back in the day
Thank you all.
that were making waves.
Thank you.
Oh, now y'all love Hillary. White women, where was y'all in 2016? Let me shut up.
Wow. There's a lot of energy in this room, just like there is across the country.
Oh, you crying now, Nancy?
Something is happening in America. You can feel it. Something we've worked for and dreamed of for a long time. First, though, let's salute President Biden. He has been democracy's champion at home and abroad. He brought dignity, decency, and competence back to the White House.
I hope so too, Miss Shorty B.
And he showed what it means to be a true patriot. Thank you, Joe Biden, for your lifetime of service and leadership. And now,
that ain't the new hairstyle, Paul. That's the old hairstyle. That's the hairstyle I like.
America's story. You know, my mother Dorothy was born right here in Chicago before women had the right to vote. That changed 104 years ago yesterday. Think about it. Tennessee became the final state.
Damn, Tennessee.
To ratify the 19th Amendment to the Constitution.
Tennessee always been fucked
The
up.
state legislature was deadlocked until one lawmaker's mother, a widow who read 3 newspapers a day, sent a letter to her son. No more delays, she wrote. Give us the vote. And since that day, every generation has carried the torch forward. In 1972, a fearless Black Congresswoman named Shirley.
Come on,
Chisholm.
Shirley. Come on, Hillary. Talk about it. Tell the people. Talk about it. Speak a word on our girl Shirley.
She ran for president.
Yes, ma'am. Speak on it.
And her determination let me and millions of others dream bigger, not just because of who she was, but because of who she fought for.
That's right.
Working parents, poor children, the last, the least, and the lost. In 1984, I brought my daughter to see Geraldine Ferraro, the first woman nominated for vice president.
You better speak a word.
If we can do this, Jerry said, we can do anything. And then there was 2016, when it was the honor of my life to accept our party's nomination for president.
Well, y'all clapping out white women? Lest we forget white women. Lest we forget white women.
And nearly 66 million Americans voted for a future where there are no ceilings on our dreams. And afterwards, we refused to give up on America. Millions marched, many ran for office. We kept our eyes on the future.
Quiet as it's kept, they did Hillary wrong in 08.
Is here.
But y'all don't want to talk about it. Quiet as it's kept, they did Hillary wrong in 2008 as well. But y'all don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about that.
I wish my mother and Kamala's mother could see us. They would say, keep going. Shirley and Jerry would say, keep going.
I know that's right, Hillary. You better speak a word. Talk to the people, Hillary. Talk to them.
Women fighting for reproductive health care are saying, keep going. Families building better lives. Parents stretching to afford child care. Young people struggling to pay their rent. They're all asking us to keep going. So, with faith in each other and joy in our hearts, let's send Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House. You know, the story of my life and the history of our country is that progress is possible, but not guaranteed. We have to fight for it and never, ever give up. There is always a choice. Do we push forward or pull back? Come together as we the people, or split into us versus them? That's the choice we face in this election. Kamala has the character, experience, and vision to lead us forward. I know her heart.
I'm not doing this with you,
and
friend.
her integrity. We both got our start as young lawyers.
Technically, that would be 93 to
children
2000.
who were abused and neglected. That kind of work changes a person. Those kids stay with you. Kamala carries with her the hopes of every child she protected, every family she helped, every community she served. So as president, she will always have our backs, and she will be a fighter for us. She will fight to lower costs for hardworking families, open the doors wide for good-paying jobs, and yes, she will restore abortion rights nationwide. As a prosecutor, Kamala locked up murderers and drug traffickers. She will never rest in defense of our freedom and safety. Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial, and when he woke up,
He made his own kind of history, the first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions.
Well, there's that.
As vice president, Kamala sat in the Situation Room.
Lock him up. I know that's right. Lock him up. Lock him up. Like he said, lock her up. Lock him up. I know that's right. Lock his ass up.
But we also know, as vice president, Kamala sat in the Situation Room and stood for America.
Hillary, your nose running, girl.
I know what it takes, and I can tell you, as commander-in-chief, Kamala won't disrespect our military and our veterans. She reveres our Medal of Honor recipients. She won't be sending love letters to dictators. She will defend democracy and our Constitution and will protect America from enemies, foreign and domestic. Think about it. The Constitution says the president's job is to take care.
I swear this woman looked like her nose running.
Faithfully executed. Those are the words of our founders. Take care. Just look at the candidates. Kamala cares about kids and families, cares about America. Donald only cares about himself. On her first day in court, Kamala said 5 words that still guide her. Kamala Harris, for the people. That is something that Donald Trump will never understand. So it is no surprise, is it, that he is lying about Kamala's record. He's mocking her name and her laugh. Sounds familiar. But we have him on the run now. So,
yeah, you know Hillary could not stand that
no
man.
No matter what the polls say, we can't let up. We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes. We have to fight for the truth. We have to fight for Kamala as she will fight for us.
Hey, Montrez.
You know what? It still takes a village to raise a family, heal a country, and win a campaign. And America needs every one of us. Our energy, our talents, our dreams. We're not just electing a president, we're uplifting our nation. We're opening the promise of America wide enough for everyone. Together, we put a lot of cracks in the highest, hardest glass ceiling. And tonight, so close to breaking through once and for all, I want to tell you what I see through all those cracks and why it matters for each and every one of us. What do I see?
Bring it home, Hillary.
I see freedom. I see the freedom to make our own decisions about our health, our lives, our loves, our families. The freedom to work with dignity and prosper. to worship as we choose or not, to speak our minds freely and honestly. I see freedom from fear and intimidation, from violence and injustice, from chaos and corruption. I see the freedom to look our children in the eye and say, in America, you can go as far as your hard work and talent will take you, and mean it. And you know what? On the other side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris, raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United States.
It's a good speech, Hillary. Good speech.
Because, my friends, when a barrier falls for one of us, it falls. It falls and clears the way for all of us. So for the next 78 days, we need to work harder than we ever have. We need to beat back the dangers that Trump and his allies pose to the rule of law and our way of life. Don't get distracted or complacent. Talk to your friends and neighbors. Volunteer. Be proud champions for the truth and for the country that we all love.
All the people say Hillary was bored, was unlikable. Does that mean Donald was likable? Just
my
asking.
grandchildren and their grandchildren
Just asking.
to know I was here at
Didn't
this
know Donald
moment,
Trump was likable.
that we were here and that we were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is our time, America. This is when we stand up. This is when we break through. The future is here. It's in our grasp. Let's go win it.
Great speech, Hillary. Great speech. Wait, hold on. No. I don't want to hear no music because I don't want no copyright nothing. No. Great speech, Hillary. Great speech, Hillary. You know, people try to make Hillary seem like, you know, she was unlikable. But last time I checked, Donald Trump was not the most likable person. I'm just saying. If that's the barometer. But here we are. Here we are.
That we all stand on the shoulders of
I always tell my students, you ain't gotta like me. I don't need you to like me. I got a job to do.
So I'm just checking. Are you ready to join this fight yet? Okay, that's the answer I was looking for. So I want you to text JOIN to 30330 and get involved. Now, what does fighting for the people exactly look like?
How much they paid
Let's
you to
go
do
back
this
to
shit?
2011, when Kamala Harris was Attorney General of California. The housing crisis had devastated American families, and the big banks had forced Californians out of their homes. Well, Kamala Harris stood up to those banks, and she secured a $20 billion settlement for California families. That is fighting for the people. And that is something that our next speaker knows all about. Please welcome the fearless fighter from South Carolina, Congressman Jim Clyburn.
Oh, God. Oh, you know how I feel about this man. Y'all know how I feel about this man. God of mercy. God of love. I'm going to try and stomach this and make it through.
Thank you.
Dear God.
Thank you.
Oh, boy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you and good evening. Thank you, South Carolina. Thank you. Four years ago, Americans were experiencing high anxieties and great uncertainties. A deadly virus raged, schools closed, Businesses shuttered. Donald Trump mismanaged the crisis from day one, looking out for himself instead of the country. The American people responded to the crisis in leadership by electing new leaders. Thanks to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, we reopened our schools, brought back our businesses, and restored our faith in the American
done been a large problem for us. Aquarius goddess. He done caused a lot of issues.
And Kamala, we reduced the price of prescription drugs, repaired roads and bridges, and replaced lead pipes. Thanks to Joe and Kamala, we are honoring our heroes in uniform and expanded benefits to over 1 million veterans. Thanks to Joe and Kamala, Make It in America is no longer just a slogan, but a movement that is bringing millions of manufacturing jobs back to America. For President Biden's lifetime of achievement in service of his country, we owe him a great debt of gratitude. And we're all grateful for one of the best decisions he made, selecting Kamala Harris as his vice president and endorsing her to succeed.
Yo, Obama's coming tomorrow, L-Love.
I often say that we are but the sum of our experiences.
Clyburn, you're not a great orator.
In the introduction of my memoir, I wrote, all my experiences have not been pleasant, but I consider all of them to be blessings. So has been the case with Kamala. Her experiences have prepared her for this moment. Kamala Harris is a true battle-tested leader, a district attorney, attorney general, senator, and vice president.
This is not the best spot for him.
Things done.
It's not the best spot for him. I'm just being honest. It's just not.
While
We done heard
Donald
AOC.
Trump has been
We done heard
bragging
Hillary
about how
Rodham.
He overturned Roe. Kamala has been fiercely advocating for the restoration of reproductive freedoms. While Trump
There it is.
has been looking out for himself and his billionaire buddies, Kamala has been fighting to lower costs for all Americans. And while Trump falsely pleads ignorance of Project 2025, which in my opinion is Jim Crow 2.0, Kamala has been offering the American people enlightened proposals and visionary leadership. Having grown up in a parsonage, I often look to the good book for understanding and guidance. As 2 Corinthians informs, we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, cast down, but not destroyed. Our great democracy has been tested, and so has the basic goodness of the American people. But
Sir, he's in the wrong place.
To remain a great
Hold on, y'all. I mean, it's good that this is happening while he's on. Sorry about that. Come on.
As the next president and vice president of these United States of America.
Even my internet didn't want to hear.
And Godspeed.
Even my internet did not want to hear it. Ow! Wait a minute. My internet said, girl, get him off, girl.
The criminal justice system.
The people
Girl,
are
my
represented
internet
by two
said,
separate yet
girl, we're not
equally
here for
important
this.
groups. Police who investigate crime, and the district attorneys who
My internet said, girl, get him off our screen. Oh,
his entire life. Trump has believed he's above the law.
that's funny.
That no one would ever dare
That
hold
is
him
too
accountable.
funny.
He lies. He rips off workers. He sexually abuses women.
Anyway,
He cheats in business.
listen, Jim Clyburn, you've done a lot of bad, Jim Clyburn. You don't want me to start going in on you, Jim Clyburn, because we know what you've done. Right? My internet said, "Go with God." Child, Jim Clyburn, y'all know I don't see it for that man. Y'all know how I feel about Jim Clyburn. Ooh, that man know he works my nerve. We already know how I feel about that man. Damn, Jim Clyburn. But child, don't let me. I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna start on that young man. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna drag him like I want to. But oh, listen, we know all about. We've talked about Jim Clyburn at length, Simera. We talked about how he worked with Republicans to make fewer black districts in South Carolina just to help him keep his one position. I think it was about 5. There would have been 5 extra districts that would have been black districts in South Carolina that he made sure did not happen just so he could keep his one district where he knew he was guaranteed an easy win. I'm not going to even talk about Jim Clyburn. We're not going to talk about the fact that he went and campaigned for Henry Cuellar the week after the Uvalde tragedy. And now Henry Cuellar is being indicted on bribery charges. And he's a pro-gun activist. All right. Jamie Raskin. I love Jamie Raskin. I love me some Jamie Raskin. Come on, Jamie.
Hello, America. And welcome to the Democracy Convention. Welcome to the Freedom Convention. And thank you for the beautiful weather, Chicago. It's been a little rough on Capitol Hill, where it's not just the heat, it's the stupidity.
Oh, wow.
Now, we meet in this great city tonight where Abraham Lincoln was nominated in 1860 to save the Union from fanatical insurrectionists. And where Franklin D. Roosevelt was renominated by Democrats in 1940 to defeat fascist dictators. Now we fight in our time to defend our freedom and our democracy against the banana Republicans who have converted Lincoln's party into a dangerous cult of personality. You know, I'll never forget the pounding on the doors of the House chamber on January 6th.
Speak on it.
Or the screams to follow. Hundreds of our police officers taunted and attacked. 140 of them wounded by extremists wielding baseball bats,
Remind the
steel
people.
pipes, even American flags. 5 people died that day, and 4 more of our officers took their own lives in the days and weeks to come. All of this after Trump was defeated by more than 7 million votes by the great Joe Biden.
Remind the people, because sometimes they forget.
It was after 80 judges rejected every ridiculous claim raised by this sore loser who does not know how to take no for an answer from American voters, American courts, or American women.
Remind the people, because sometimes they forget.
Remember what the mob chanted as they stormed the Capitol and injured our officers? Hang Mike Pence.
Sure did.
Someone should have told Donald Trump that the president's job under Article 2 of the Constitution someone should have told Donald Trump.
Come on, JB.
The president's job under Article 2 of the Constitution is to take care that the laws are faithfully executed, not that the vice president is executed.
Well, glad you caught that, Jamie.
Pence has now joined more than 24 officials from Donald Trump's own administration in denouncing him, an historical record. And Pence is the first vice president in more than 2 centuries not to support the president he served with in a general election. And by the way, J.D. Vance, do you understand why there was a sudden job opening for running mate on the GOP ticket? They tried to kill your predecessor.
Right. Hello. Remind the
Kill
people.
him because he would not follow Trump's plan to destroy and nullify the votes of millions of Americans. Your votes, Pennsylvania. Your votes, Michigan. Your votes, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. Are we going to go back to the days of election suppression and violent insurrection? We're not going back. Well, look, 1 week after that beautiful day, as Trump calls it, the Republicans, 10 Republicans, joined all of the Democrats to impeach Trump for the worst high crime and misdemeanor ever committed by a president, inciting insurrection against our own Constitution. Make no mistake, a man who uses fraud, theft, and violence to take power will commit any crime to keep it. And now Trump's promising to pardon hundreds of his fellow criminal convicts and insurrectionists. He calls for, quote, the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those in the Constitution. My friends, are we the people going to let Donald Trump terminate our Constitution and obliterate the blessings of liberty for our posterity? That's right. We're going to elect Kamala Harris. We're going to elect the career prosecutor and inspiring public servant and Coach Walls. And we're going to defeat Donald Trump, the career criminal and incorrigible recidivist con man, and his pet chameleon, J.D. Vance.
Oh, wow. Pet chameleon. That's it.
And America, let's make it a landslide so big that Donald Trump and his kangaroo court Supreme Court justices cannot even try to steal it.
Wow.
Let's make every vote count. Let's make sure every vote is counted. Let's let freedom ring, and let's let democracy work in America.
I like Jamie. I've seen Jamie better than that. Jamie had a few gaps in there. I've seen Jamie better than that. But I've noticed since he had the cancer and the cancer, and then he went ill, and ever since he got better, he hasn't been quite the same. There go our girl Jasmine Crockett. That's a Delta girl right there. Look, watch Ravine come up in the chat. That's a Delta girl right there. Come on, Jasmine.
On November 5th, our nation will hire a president, a commander-in-chief, and leader of the free world. So let's compare their resumes, shall we? One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU. HU. The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business. Housing discrimination, that is. She became a career prosecutor.
She's from Houston.
He became a career criminal.
I'm sorry, Dallas.
With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments,
Dallas.
and 1 porn star to prove it. Her entire career as an elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator, she's always worked for one client, the people. Meanwhile, he's a 78-year-old, lifelong predator, fraudster, and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs. Listen, y'all. He's only looked out for one person, himself. As women are dying, he is bragging about overturning Roe. And y'all know I come from Texas. And right now in Texas, come on, Texas. But right now in Texas, they want to institute the death penalty. That is a problem. While Kamala Harris is fighting for our reproductive rights to be restored. She is also the leader we need on the global stage.
I like that brooch.
She helped secure the release of Americans wrongfully detained in Russia. At the same time, he cozies up to his role model, Vladimir Putin, and MAGA holds legislation hostage here at home, critical resources to secure the border, military aid to Ukraine, and even the Farm Bill. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare. America, looking at the 2 choices before you, who would you hire? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Who was that? Go back to that in the gray suit. Hey, Ilhan. Go back to young man with the gray suit and the pretty eyes.
Kamala Harris has a resume. Donald Trump has a rap sheet. She presides over the Senate while he keeps our national secrets next to his thinking chair.
I feel like
y'all know what I said that other time.
Oh wow. You could tell she's a defense attorney.
Our 1787 Constitution through his Project 2025 paper shredder and make every day January 6th. Kamala Harris is fighting to fulfill the promise of America.
Sounds like a closing argument.
In the real world, this wouldn't even be close. But this election is. Don't make a mistake. We are the underdogs in this fight. Even though there is only one person qualified, Only one person who's done the work and who has delivered the results. And she needs you. She needs your one vote this November. Can we count on you?
All she needs is a little laser
Some
pointer.
of you
That's
know a
all
little
she
bit of my
needs.
history. Some of you don't. So let me tell you. I was a public defender. I did criminal defense as well as practiced civil rights law for almost 2 decades. I know a good prosecutor when I see one. Kamala Harris is the kind of prosecutor we long for in the cases like those of Breonna Taylor.
You better speak to the black people. Speak to the black issues.
She was the first attorney general in the nation to order that her officers wear body cams, and she started the Back on Track program to reduce recidivism. Listen, y'all, she did all these things because she genuinely cares about people. She sees each person as just that, a person, not a statistic. She's proven that since the first day she stepped into a courtroom and said what y'all already heard Hillary say, I did not copy off of her speech. I just want y'all to know. She walked into that courtroom and said, Kamala Harris for the people. And she meant that.
That could be a slogan, Kamala. You better take it. That's two women now. Kamala Harris for the people.
But what I love about Kamala Harris goes beyond her resume. Is that she sees the humanity in everyone.
That's your next commercial, Kamala.
She's the only candidate in this race who is capable of empathy. When I first got to Congress, I wasn't sure I made the right decision. The Chaos Caucus couldn't elect a speaker, and the Oversight Committee was unhinged. I was going through all of this when I visited the Vice President's residence for the first time. As I approached Vice President Harris for our official photo, she turned to me and asked, "What's wrong?" Mind you, we'd never met, but she saw right through me. She saw the distress. I immediately began crying.
Keep it together, girl. You got it. Keep it together. You got it. You got it.
And the most powerful woman in the world wiped my tears and listened.
Keep it together. You got it, girl. You got this. Come on now. You better emote. Look at the white women crying. You better emote.
It's so hard for me to tell this story. She then said, among other things, you are exactly where God wants you.
You better shed a tear.
Your district chose you.
Come on now.
They believe in you, and so do I.
You better emote. Come on now. Show the people emotion. That's what they need. That's what the people want.
The next month, I went viral for the first of many times to come. For hitting Republicans with a dose of their own medicine. That brief but impactful interaction gave me my legislative legs, and I've been running ever since.
Come on, Jasmine.
The question before us is, will a vindictive, vile villain violate voters' vision?
Come on now. Come on, alliteration. Oh, man. You better take your moment, Jasmine.
For a better America or not.
Sit in your moment.
I hear alliterations are back in style. We deserve better. We deserve a president who can be a bright light in a sea of darkness. One who will pull us forward, because we won't go back. Amanda Gorman said it best. There's always light.
Girl, what happened? Oh no. What? Oh boy. Sorry, y'all.
Hope and freedom around the world once
Let
more.
me go back a little bit. Hold on.
America, when she is our president, together we will shine as that beacon of hope and freedom around the world once more. God bless y'all.
I'm sorry about that, y'all. Let me see. It won't even let me go. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can go back a little bit.
I was going through all of this.
Hold on.
The question before us is, will a vindictive, vile villain
We heard that. I just want to make sure I get the end of the speech, y'all. I'm sorry about that.
for a better America or not? I hear alliterations are back in style. We deserve better. We deserve a president who can be a bright light in a sea of darkness. One who will pull us forward, because we won't go back. Amanda Gorman said it best. There's always light if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. Kamala Harris showed me that light. And America, when she is our president, together we will shine as that beacon of hope and freedom around the world once more. God bless y'all.
All right. All right. I'm okay now. I had to bring it back. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know what had happened to my internet is giving me grief. Internet, do the fuck better. Do the fuck better. Damn it. Anyway. So that was Jasmine Crockett. I think she seized the moment. I liked her. I liked her speech. I liked
For us,
the
it was
outfit.
different. We were told with 100% certainty we would lose our baby girl, Willow, and we were sent home. For 3 days, we waited until Amanda was sick enough to receive standard abortion care. Eventually, Amanda's temperature spiked. She was shaking, disoriented, and crashing. I don't remember what I threw into our bag that day, only that instead of welcoming Willow, I was hoping Amanda's life could be saved. I'm here tonight because the fight for reproductive rights isn't just a woman's fight. This is about fighting. This is about fighting for our families. And as Kamala Harris says, our future.
They didn't show Jasmine's speech on PBS. Oh, that's awful. That's awful.
Every time I share our
Y'all know
story,
white women gonna love this
my
part.
heart breaks. For the baby girl we wanted desperately. For the doctors and nurses who
A
couldn't
blonde
help
white woman
me
from
deliver her
Texas,
safely.
or white women all over
For
this.
Josh, who feared he would lose me too. But I was lucky. I lived.
Don't let her start crying.
So I'll continue sharing our story, standing with women and families across the country. Today, because of Donald Trump, more than 1 in 3 women of reproductive age in America lives under an abortion ban. A second Trump term would rip away even more of our rights. Passing a national abortion ban, letting states monitor pregnancies and prosecute doctors, restricting birth control and fertility treatments. We cannot let that happen. We need to vote as if lives depend on it, because they do.
2 years ago, my husband and I were expecting our second child. Our daughter, Lauren, couldn't wait to be a big sister. I was getting ready for her 4th birthday party when something didn't feel right. 2 emergency rooms sent me away. Because of Louisiana's abortion ban, no one would confirm that I was miscarrying. I was in pain, bleeding so much my husband feared for my life. No woman should experience what I endured, but too many have. They write to me saying, "What happened to you happened to me." Sometimes they're miscarrying, scared to tell anyone, even their doctors. Our daughters deserve better. America deserves better. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will fight for reproductive rights and our freedom and our shared future.
Growing up, I was an all-American girl. Varsity soccer captain, cheerleading captain, homecoming queen, and survivor. I was raped by my stepfather after years of sexual abuse.
They love this kind of stuff. Well, they
At age 12,
you're gonna
I
start to
took
see the
my
tears.
first pregnancy test,
I'm here for it.
and it was positive. That was the first time I was ever told, "You have options." I can't imagine not having a choice. But today, that's the reality for many women and girls across the country because of Donald Trump's abortion bans. He calls it a beautiful thing. What is so beautiful about a child having to carry her parent's child? There are other survivors out there who have no options. And I want you to know that we see you. We hear you.
I think this is such a great thing for them to have these stories right here at this moment.
Kamala Harris will sign a national law to restore the right to an abortion.
Oh, this is a moment right here. This is the part that they're going to talk about tomorrow. These 3 stories.
She will fight for every woman and every girl, even those who are not fighting for her.
And how many of these ladies probably have that same story?
And
oh,
now,
this is touching.
I am honored to introduce another champion for women, a leader who's fought for me and for so many others, Governor Andy Beshear.
Come on, Governor Beshear. I love Andy. Andy, where's your tie? Andy, where's your tie, sir? Sir, this could be your interview. Could be the future of the Democratic Party. Where the hell is your damn tie, Andy? Now I love Andy down. Y'all, this your governor.
Hadley Duvall is one of the bravest people I've ever met.
Yeah, that was a powerful moment. That was a powerful moment.
I'm amazed at the courage it takes to share her pain, to share her truth. Yet Donald Trump brags about tearing a constitutional right away from Hadley and every other woman and girl in our country. That's why we must tear away any chance he can ever be president ever again.
Y'all know Andy was my pick for VP.
In 21 states, Trump's actions have resulted in extreme bans on abortion in my state, even in cases of rape. incest, and non-viable pregnancies. That leaves 12-year-old girls like Hadley with no options. That fails any test of humanity, any test of basic decency, any test of whether you have any underlying empathy. Thankfully, this extremism is being soundly rejected all over our country. In Kentucky, we put reproductive freedom on the ballot last November, and I beat Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell's hand-picked candidate by more than 5 percentage points.
Tell the people, remind the people, let them know.
This November, we're going to beat them again. Elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and protect reproductive freedom. Folks, Donald Trump appointed the Supreme Court justices who got us into this mess. His Project 2025 goes even further. Here's the thing. Trump and Vance simply don't believe in your freedom. Trump says people are absolutely thrilled that women have their basic rights eliminated. J.D. Vance says women should stay in violent marriages and that pregnancies resulting from rape are simply inconvenient. Their policies give rapists more rights than their victims. That's not inconvenient, it's just plain wrong. And a woman grieving a non-viable pregnancy shouldn't be required to carry it to term just to listen to her child die or to hear no sound at all. All women should have the freedom to make their own decisions. Freedom over their own bodies. Freedom about whether to pursue IVF. Freedom about whether to have children at all. How we treat people transcends party lines. It goes right to the heart of who we are. My faith teaches me the golden rule that I am to love my neighbor as myself. And the parable of the Good Samaritan says we are all each other's neighbors. So I want anyone watching tonight, Republican, Independent, Democrat, to know that you are welcome here. We believe in America where we live out our values, end anger politics once and for all, and move beyond this us versus them by remembering we are all Americans. That's how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris lead. They both called to ask how they could help Kentucky in recovering from natural disasters. They helped us improve our roads, our bridges, and invested in our people. They didn't ask me who Kentuckians voted for. They asked me what Kentuckians needed, and folks, they delivered. Kamala Harris gets it. She knows we must move beyond anger, extremism, and division, that everyone has dignity and deserves respect. America, we're going to win. And we're going to win by staying true to our values of compassion, empathy, and doing right by our neighbors. I'm so proud to be all in for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Thank you.
Now, a speech like that, the base that, or the part of the electorate that, believe it or not, they needed him to speak to, he did. And that was those middle of the road, what they call Christian voters that wanted to hear that type of
Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock.
Measured. Come on, Ralph. That kind of speech goes a long way with centrist voters, those middle of the road voters that are on the fence. back and forward. That kind of speech goes a long way for that, for those people.
Well,
see what Ralph gives us.
Hello, America. Thank you so very much.
Biden ain't gonna be up there till 12 o'clock.
On January 5th, 2021, the people of Georgia did an amazing thing. They sent a black kid who grew up in public housing and the Jewish son of an immigrant to the United States Senate in one fell swoop. And among those Georgians was my then 82-year-old mother. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia. Do you know where that is? It's way across Georgia. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia, where she picked other people's cotton.
Hey, Rudy B.
And other people's tobacco. But because this is America, the 82-year-old hands that used to pick somebody else's cotton and somebody else's tobacco picked her youngest son to be a United States Senator. This is my America. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, America, for raising your voice and using your vote. A vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children, and our prayers are stronger when we pray together.
Raphael Warnock got 2 jobs. I'll tell you in a second.
Together we flipped the Senate, held the House, and we sent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House. Together we vaccinated our citizens, we fortified our cities and our towns, and we stood by our small businesses. Together we set out to heal the land. A nation besieged by a deadly pandemic and beset by the awful and divisive rhetoric of a man too small for the office entrusted him or the task set before him. The day after my January 5th election, he instigated an insurrection, a violent assault on our nation's capital and the peaceful transfer of power, all driven by the big lie. But behind the big lie was an even bigger lie. It is the lie that this increasingly diverse American electorate does not get to determine the future of the country.
PBS ain't showing Warnock either.
The logic of January 6th is a sickness. It is a kind of cancer that then metastasized into dozens of voter suppression laws all across our country. And we must be vigilant tonight because these anti-democratic forces are at work right now in Georgia and all across our country. And the question is, who will heal the land? And so here we are, America. Are you ready? Are you ready to stand up in this moral moment? Stand up for the best in the American covenant. Elections are about the character of a country. And we must decide, again, we are the latest generation of Americans who get to decide what kind of country we want to be. And we must choose between the promise of January 5th and the peril of January 6th. A nation that embraces.
I like that.
A nation that embraces all of us or just some of us.
Two different
Donald
pictures,
Trump's
two different
America is the America of January 6th. People who have no vision traffic in division. He does not know how to lead us, and so he wants to divide us. America, make no mistake, Donald Trump is a plague on the American conscience.
He sounds like a pastor and a preacher. You could tell people where they came from.
He is a clear and present threat
to
the precious covenant we share with one another.
Y'all don't hear
Yes, I saw
parts
him.
of Bible
I saw
verses
him
in the
holding
different parts that he
Bible
says.
And endorsing a Bible as if it needed his endorsement. He should try reading it.
I told you he has 2 jobs. I'm gonna tell y'all in a second what the 2 jobs is when he's done.
It says, do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. He should try reading it. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. It says, inasmuch as you've done it unto the least of these, you have done it also unto me.
Yeah, he is the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church, former, Church of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
The American covenant. E pluribus unum, out of many one. I choose January 5th. I choose a nation that provides a path for ordinary people and gives every child a chance. And that's Joe Biden's America.
It is complex,
And
613.
he's been fighting for it for more than a half century. President Biden, America is so much better because of you, a true patriot who has always put the people first. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. But I'll tell you something else. Not only is that Joe Biden's America, that's Kamala Harris's America. She was leading with Joe Biden when we expanded the child tax credit, cutting child poverty in America nearly in half. We ought to renew it. She cast a tie-breaking vote for my bill, capping the cost of insulin to no more than $35 per month for seniors. We ought to extend it to everybody. Together we passed an infrastructure bill, bolstered American manufacturing and clean energy, an investment in the house that we all share together. And I've got news for you.
All right,
we
Quake.
are just getting started. Are you ready to win this election? Kamala Harris and Tim Walz represent the new way forward. We're not going back.
I know that's right.
We're not going back because we are the United States of America. We always dream about the future. And so forward on women's reproductive rights because we believe that a patient's room is too small and cramped a space for a woman, her doctor, and the United States government. That's too many people in the room.
He's done one of his jobs so far. I'm waiting for him to do his second job.
Rights. Because most people do not mind working. They just want to share in the prosperity that they are creating for others. Forward on voting rights. Forward on affordable housing and access to health care. We are moving forward. And so I'm inspired tonight. I'm inspired by all of you. I'm inspired by the resilience of an American spirit that has rebounded from the pandemic and is holding at bay the forces that are trying to divide us. And I'm inspired tonight by the memory of my late father, a preacher and a junk man. Monday through Friday, he lifted old broken cars and put them on the back of an old rig. But on Sunday morning, the man who lifted broken cars lifted broken people whom other people had discarded and told them that they were God's somebody. My dad discovered strength in the broken places, a power made perfect in weakness. And so I'm convinced tonight that we can lift the broken even as we climb. I'm convinced tonight that we can heal sick bodies. We can heal the wounds that divide us. We can heal a planet in peril. We can heal the land. And in a strange way, the pandemic taught us how. A contagious airborne disease means that I have a personal stake in the health of my neighbor. If she's sick, I may get sick also. Her health care is good for my health. I'm just trying to tell you that we are as close in our humanity as a cough. I need my neighbor's children to be okay so that my children will be okay. I need all of my neighbor's children to be okay. Poor inner city children in Atlanta and poor children of Appalachia. I need the poor children of Israel and the poor children of Gaza. I need Israelis and Palestinians. I need those in the Congo, those in Haiti, those in Ukraine. I need American children.
You better speak a word.
To be okay. Because we are all God's children.
Preach, preacher.
And so let's stand together. Let's work together. Let's organize together. Let's pray together. Let's stand together. Let's heal the land. God bless you. Keep the faith. And keep looking up.
Great speech. I told y'all he had two jobs. He hit the first thing that he needed to do. They needed him to speak to Christians, evangelicals, and all of them.
Chris Coons.
There's one group that he did not speak to that I thought that he was going to speak to, and that's to black male voters who people claim they're waiting on. I thought he would speak more to black male voters. That's the one
Are there any
demographic
Democrats in the room tonight?
I felt like.
Folks, we are on the verge of making history. We are on the verge of an historic election. And I want to talk with you for just a few minutes about my dear friend, our president, Joe Biden. Joe Biden's mom had a saying: you are defined by your courage and you are redeemed by your loyalty. 4 years ago, I had the honor
of helping introduce Joe Biden to our national convention. I spoke about Joe's faith, his love of family, his determination to restore the soul of our nation. Back in 2020, America was nearly flat on our back from a deadly pandemic, an economic collapse, and then in January, an assault on our democracy. All of this, because the drama and chaos of our former president had knocked us down. But folks, Joe Biden's courage, Joe Biden's faith in us, Joe Biden's determination to heal the soul of our nation.
I hope they
gave
back
us
there
hope
giving him some
and gave
Geritol,
us
please.
confidence. Someone who has
A
himself
Red Bull,
been knocked down by life, time,
5 Hour Energy.
and again. Joe Biden knows the grit and determination of the
I
American
just
people.
want them back there
He
feeding him
believed in
Geritol,
us.
ginseng,
Joe Biden
5 Hour
helped us
Energy, and a
get
Red Bull.
back up again.
I'm just saying.
I need you to leave Joe alone.
Using the
Listen.
incredible skills he developed in many years in the U.S. Senate,
Why is that
Joe
meeting?
got passed and
Ravine?
signed into law the most
I want Joe to come
consequential
out here
legislation
fired up,
of any
ready to go.
president in 60 years, helping our veterans, advancing gun
But Chris
safety,
Coons ain't it. He ain't. He
cutting
never been
prescription
it.
drug prices, fighting climate change,
Oh my God.
rebuilding bridges and broadband,
Hillary was great.
bringing manufacturing back to
Jasmine was
America.
great.
Together,
AOC was
Joe
great.
and Kamala
Raphael
helped
Warnock
rebuild
was
our
great.
economy
Only
from
one
the
who was
middle
a
up,
little off tonight was Jamie
from the
Raskin.
bottom
Jamie
up,
was a
and
little
the
off
middle
tonight.
out, not from the top down.
Andy
And they
Beshear
made our
did what he
families
needed to do.
safer
He was Andy
and our
Beshear.
country stronger at home and abroad. Today, we are so much better off because they believed in us, in our democracy. And our incredible First Lady, Jill Biden, our incredible First Lady, Jill Biden, our incredible First Lady, Jill Biden, was at Joe's side every step of the way, fighting for education, advancing the cancer moonshot,
Look at
determined
Montrez.
to improve women's health care, honoring military families. Joe and Jill together, you have done so much for us, and there's so much more you will do and we can do together. Mr. President, thank you. Thank you for elevating a great leader in Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris, thank you for choosing a great running mate with a heart for the middle class like yours in Sergeant, Congressman, Coach, Governor Tim Walz. I have hope. Do you? I have hope. Do you? I have hope. Do you?
Interesting.
And it is in no small part because of Joe Biden. I have never known a more compassionate man than Joe Biden.
I just want y'all to know I have a
never
running
known a
back
man who has taken from his own loss
over
and his
under
own
2
faith
minutes of
and
standing
delivered
applause
so
when Joe
much
Biden come
for the
out.
future of
I got a
so
$50 bet
many
on that.
others.
I took the over.
Mr. President, you were my senator as a Delawarean. You are my president as an American.
Delawarean.
You will always be my
Delawarean.
Okay.
I ain't never
A
heard that.
Delawarean. I've never heard of, I thought it was me.
Your courage, fighting for our democracy. We thank you.
Oh man, Spicy is past that man's bedtime. That's why I say they need to be giving some Geritol and 5 Hour Energy.
It's past my damn bedtime. Shit.
Democratic Party for your loyalty in fighting for our democratic values. We thank you.
But yeah, my bet is over under 2
And on
minutes
behalf
on the
of
standing
Delaware,
ovation. I took the over.
thank you, Joe, and God bless
I'm
you.
sure they made him take a nap.
I
They probably
hope
gave him.
so.
They probably gave him some warm milk and a couple of cookies.
Oh no, no warm
Something to-
milk, honey. No
We
warm.
love Joe.
He might never
No,
wake
I'm
up.
saying earlier when they made him take a nap is what I'm
I
saying. They
know,
gave
but
him
he
some
might
warm
sleep too
milk.
long.
No, they made sure they know. They know how long. They know.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Gave him a little melatonin, rubbed his belly. Made him take a good
Girl.
nap. Made him take a good nap earlier today.
Hi,
Now let me
I'm
turn this
Vivian
down. I
Merlo,
don't know if they
and I'm a
play
fourth
music
grade
on these little
student at
spots. I
Preston
have to
College.
turn it down.
I'm not doing all of this with the Democrats tonight. I might just have to catch this shit in the morning. I gotta go to
Who is
bed.
your favorite person so far?
Jasmine Crockett. I told you she made me cry. Like I literally was crying. When she got choked up, I got choked up.
You saw the tear come down. I said, "Oh, that was it right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. When
That's
she
all
got
you
choked
needed."
up, I got choked up. I said, "Oh, no, girl, don't you do that to me tonight. Don't you do that."
Sha. I loved her. I loved AOC. Hillary was great.
Hillary was really, really, really
Hillary
good.
was great. White women up there clapping. I need to remind them that they was the ones. They're the reason she was not president. Please don't, lest we forget.
Yeah, white women, go sit your asses down somewhere.
So, oh, okay, here you go.
That's a good picture of her. You better go ahead,
Yeah.
Dr. Gio.
Please welcome First Lady of the United States, Jill Biden.
I'm sorry, it's Dr. Jill to you.
It is Dr. Jill. I don't like that dress though, Jill.
I do not like that dress. Who did that?
That is not good. They could have put a Spanx or something on you before they let you walk out with that dress.
They should have done they could have done like a cinched waist and had it flare out. That dress is
like
not that dress is not giving.
That ain't
I'm
it.
sorry.
That ain't it, Jill.
I'm no fashionista, but that is not the answer. Wait a minute, not thank you, Joe, for the $6 gas. You do know that's not Joe's fault, but okay, go off.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you too.
They should have called Michelle's designer because that is not the answer.
At
Joe
all.
and I have been together for almost 50 years.
And the fact that you're his second wife and y'all been
That's
together
what I
for
was
50
about to
years.
say. That's not his first wife.
Damn.
God, you weren't supposed to start off with that.
When I handed him our baby Ashley for the first time
Girl.
and saw the smile that lit up his face. Or on nights after an exhausting day working in the Senate, when he would read one more bedtime story just because the kids asked.
Yeah.
When he stops
Not
on a
that
rope
means
line
it was meant to be
because he sees
crazy old body
someone
girl.
grieving who needs
Not Cato fashions.
to be all right one day. Or to encourage that child with a stutter to find the confidence she needs. Those moments when I'm reminded of all he's accomplished in the name of something bigger than himself. Receiving the Medal of Freedom with humility.
Like 50 years, girl.
Placing his hand on our family Bible to take his oath of office.
Girl. Yeah, they said
And
you was a
weeks
husband.
ago,
But no, he is in his 80s, so if they got together while he was in his 30s, that would be 50 years.
Or when did his wife die?
Re-election.
He was like young. He was like in his 20s, late 20s when his wife died. He was young. Because remember, he was one of the youngest senators ever elected. Remember, he was elected like at 21, 22.
I think it was like 20. I think it was 29.
Was it that? I thought it was early. I thought he was younger than that.
But you got to be 25 to be a senator.
But remember, he was in his first term when the accident happened. He was in his first.
Intimidation or cruelty. It comes from the small acts of kindness that heal deep wounds, from service to the communities that make us who we are, from love of a country that shines with promise and renewal. Kamala Harris knows that too. Our son Beau first worked with Kamala when he was Attorney General of Delaware. He told me at the dinner table one night, "Mom, she's special, someone to keep your eye on." And he was right. Joe and I know Kamala. We have seen her courage, her determination, and her leadership up close. Kamala and Tim, you will win.
Hey, Taboo. Hey.
And you are inspiring a new generation. We are all a part of something bigger than ourselves, and we are stronger than we know. The future of our country is in the hands of those in this room and all of you watching at home. It's going to take all of us, and we can't afford to lose. With faith in each other, hope for a brighter future, and love for our country, we will fight and we will win together. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that was a terrible speech. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It did not
that
inspire
was not
me.
good.
It didn't make me want to do nothing but do the math. All we did that whole
We've been
speech
looking at
was
your
do the.
dress this whole time, ma'am.
No, this whole time we've been figuring out the timeline, making sure that everything
We
is
have.
everything. That's all
We
we've been
have.
doing.
Girl,
That
we've
dress
been
in your
adding up.
timeline, right? That dress in your timeline. Oh, wait a minute. This pantsuit is giving. Oh, that pantsuit is giving now. Now that's the outfit. I like that.
Good evening. I have this memory. It's the eve of my 8th birthday. Dad is still in DC, tending to urgent matters in the Senate. That night, as a surprise, Mom told me, Beau, and Hunter to get in the car. I remember pulling up to the Wilmington Amtrak station, riding up the escalator to the platform.
Ain't nobody
train
paying you no mind
stops.
time.
Yes, Ty. You better twirl on them bitches. Twirl on them, Ty.
As soon as I saw him, I run down that platform and jump into his arms. Like magic, Mom brought out a cake. They sang happy birthday, and I blew out the candles. Dad hugged me, and he said that he had to get back to work. He crossed to the southbound
I'm glad you
train,
laughing.
and off he went to DC.
Ty wore that dress that Joe Biden had at his last pageant.
Of one moment, of one day, on this extraordinary journey of being Joe Biden.
Right. She should have dressed her mama because her pantsuit is bad.
That's
Like, why
that
you ain't
same
dressed your
dress Ty
mama?
wore his last pageant.
But he won his last pageant.
The OG girl dad.
Okay, girl dad.
He told me I could be anything and I could do anything.
I gotta go to
As
bed.
a child, I would sit on the leather chair in his office doing my homework, and he would sit next to me doing his work, drafting the Violence Against Women Act.
Yeah, tonight is all about women. It's
And he
clear.
wasn't just a girl dad. I could see, and he wasn't just a girl dad. I could see that he valued and
You say that
trusted
make you feel some kind of way,
women.
Derek Gordon?
How he listened to his mother, how he believed in his sister, and most of all, how he respected my mother's career.
Okay. Good night. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna watch this in the morning. I gotta go to bed.
All right. Thank you for coming up.
They are really dragging this shit out. I can't do this.
Dad,
Good night, y'all. Good night to the
but we
to
don't.
the L Teddy people.
The pupils.
that you are the love of
Bye,
our
Taboo. Mwah.
of our love.
See, he lost because he wore that dress.
Ty, I was trying to work with you, Ty. You didn't have to tell the
I
truth,
had
damn
my
it.
wedding reception in my parents' backyard. At the time, my dad was vice president. But he was also that dad who literally set up the entire reception. He was riding around in his John Deere four-wheeler, fixing the place settings, arranging the plants, and by the way, he was very emotional. I thought that I would be a mess, but he was the one crying, and I was the one who had to comfort him. Before he walked me down the aisle, he turned to me and said that he would always be my best friend. All these years later, Dad, you are still my best friend. His example in service inspired my career. I'm a social worker in Philadelphia. I support formerly incarcerated women as they heal from past trauma and they reclaim their lives. Dad always told me that I was no better than anybody else and nobody was better than me. He taught me that everyone deserves a fair shot and that we shouldn't leave
He
anyone
didn't teach you
behind.
not to be long-winded, though.
That's
see.
what you learn from a fighter who has been underestimated.
Yes, Michelle Obama is tomorrow, Derek.
When I look at Dad, I see grace, strength, and humility. I see one of the most consequential leaders ever in history. And I also know
I don't think nobody
that
do that
he
no more,
never
Tawana.
stops thinking about you.
I don't think nobody do
About
that no
your
more.
dreams, about your dignity, about your opportunities, about your family. Dad knows that family is everything. When Hunter and I lost our brother Bo to cancer in 2015, the grief and the pain felt like it might never end. Dad had the capacity to step out of his own pain and absorb ours. And I know that Bo is here with us tonight, as he is always with us.
You got down there real fast,
After Bo
Jill.
passed, I got this tattoo on my wrist. It says, "Courage, dear heart." A reminder to myself to keep going, to get back up, like my dad has always done. He has taught me that a courageous heart is a miraculous thing. A courageous heart can heal a family. A courageous heart can heal a nation, and maybe even the world. And now, this election requires the
Girl, I
courageous
thought you was
hearts
gonna bring
of
him up.
all of us. In 2020,
You can't say
my
and
dad
now
selected Kamala
and not
Harris
bring him
to
up.
beat Donald Trump. And he knows in 2024, she will beat Donald Trump again. So tonight, I am asking you, if you stood with us in 2020, call upon
Hey,
your
TJ.
courageous heart. Stand with us
Did
today.
she make you feel like
Work
she was about to
harder
say,
than you have ever
bring him
worked
up?
before in your life. This is the fight of our lifetime. Our freedom, our democracy, our reproductive rights. All of this, all of it is on the ballot. And I know together we can do this because my dad helped show us the way.
That's all I needed, Joe. Appreciate you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you, Joe.
Thank you.
Not they been preparedness. He said he had COVID of his whole, life's work.
Thank you.
So a lot of years, a lot of hard work.
Thank you. I love you.
Oh, I done made my I'm good now.
Thank you.
I'm still gonna keep it going and see how long the applaud
Thank you.
goes.
Thank you. Thank you. That was my daughter. Thank you.
No more complex. Right, Spicy Original. Just go out on your own terms.
Thank you. Thank you for so.
Oh, that's 4+ minutes.
I tell you what.
That's 4+ minutes.
To my dearest daughter Ashley, God love you, you're incredible. Thank you for the introduction and for being my courageous heart, along with Hunter and our entire family, and especially our rock, Jill. Who, as those of you who know us, she still leaves me both breathless and speechless. Everybody knows her. I love her more than she loves me. She walks down the stairs and I still get that going boom, 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 boom. You all will know me. No, I'm not kidding. Let's give a special round of applause to our First Lady, Jill Biden. My dad.
Yeah, we ain't need to know all that, Joe. We ain't asked you for all that. We didn't.
My dad used to have an expression, for real. He'd say, Joey, family is the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I love you all. Folks. And America, I love you. Folks, let me ask you. Let me ask you. Are you ready to vote for freedom? Are you ready to vote for democracy and for America? Let me ask you, are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, President and Vice President of the United States? My fellow Democrats, my fellow Americans, nearly 4 years ago in winter, on the steps of the Capitol on a cold January day, I raised my right hand and I swore an oath to you and to God to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and to faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. In front of me was a city surrounded by the National Guard. Behind me, a Capitol just 2 weeks before had been overrun by a violent mob. But I knew then, from the bottom of my heart, that I knew now, there is no place in America for political violence. None.
You cannot say you love your country only when you win.
Not before the insure weighs off. Joe said he gonna milk this. This is last
At
hurrah.
that moment, I wasn't looking to the past. I was looking to the future. I spoke of the work at hand, the moment we had to meet. It was, as I told you then, a winter of peril and possibility. Of peril and possibility. We're in the grip of a once-in-a-century pandemic, historic joblessness, a call for racial justice long overdue.
That never happened.
Clear and present threats to our very democracy. Thank you.
Y'all can't keep doing that. That man only got about 10 more good minutes in him. That man got about 10 good minutes in him, and y'all prolonging this. The man doing the best he can. Okay?
And yet,
Look at Nancy Pelosi, barely hanging on herself.
and I believe now, that progress was and is possible. Justice is achievable. And our best days are not behind us, they're before us.
Oh, I feel you, Your
Now
Honor.
it's summer. The winter is past. And with a grateful heart, I stand before you now on this August night to report that democracy has prevailed. Democracy has delivered. And now democracy must be preserved.
Nancy lipstick and makeup is over it too, so Jeff. Maybe they checked out about 2 hours ago.
You've heard me say it before.
Nancy lipstick and makeup checked out when AOC was up
We're
there.
facing an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. That's not hyperbole. I mean it literally. We're in a battle for the very soul of America. I ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville in August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging from their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas, and chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, so emboldened by a president then in the White House that they saw as an ally. They didn't even bother to wear their hoods. Hate was on the march in America. Old ghosts in new garments, stirring up the oldest divisions, stoking the oldest fears, giving oxygen to the oldest forces that they long sought to tear apart America. In the process, a young woman was killed. When I contacted her mother, I asked about what happened. She told me. When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said. That is what he said.
I thought he said that about Charlottesville.
That's when I realized. Had to listen to the admonition of my dead son.
Oh yeah, that
Could
is
not
Charlottesville.
stay in
he
the
was talking about.
sidelines.
I thought he was
So I
talking about
ran.
January 6th.
Because I had no intention of running again. I just lost part of my soul. But I ran with a deep conviction. In America, I know and believe in an America where honesty, dignity, decency still matter. An America where everyone has a fair shot and hate has no safe harbor. An America
Joe, we tied,
Well, the
Joe.
fundamental creed of this nation,
Joe, we tied. It is
that all of us are created
11:39.
equal, is still very much alive.
My back hurt, Joe. I've been in this chair
And a
for a few
broad
hours.
coalition of Americans joined with me. 81 million voters voted for us. More than any time in all of history.
I mean, the population is bigger than it has ever been in history.
Because of all of you in this room and others, we came together in 2020 to save democracy. As your president, I've been determined to keep America moving forward, not going back, to stand against hate and violence in all its forms, to be a nation where we not only live with but thrive on diversity, demonizing no one, leaving no one behind, and becoming the nation that we profess to be. I also ran to rebuild the backbone of America, the middle class. I made a commitment to you that I be a president for all Americans, whether you voted for me or not.
Okay, pass us a yellow
done
Red
that.
Bull. Listen,
Studies show
I'm about to go get this other Red Bull.
major
Then I'm
bills
gonna
we
be
have
up
passed
to 4 in the
actually
morning.
delivered more to red states than blue. Because the job of the president is to deliver to all of America. Because of you, and I'm not exaggerating, because of you, we've had one of the most extraordinary 4 years of progress ever. Period.
Well, I'm sorry, Joe. Joe, we tied.
When I say we, I mean Kamala and me. Just think about it. COVID no longer controls our lives. We've gone from economic crisis to the strongest economy in the entire world. Record 16 million new jobs. Record small business growth. Record high stock market. Record high 401ks. Wages up and inflation down, way down, and continuing to go down. The smallest racial wealth gap in 20 years. And yes, we both know we have more to do, but we're moving in the right direction. More Americans have peace of mind that comes from having health insurance. More Americans have health insurance today than ever before in American history. And after, as a young senator beginning to fight for 50 years to give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices.
Golden, we all here
finally
together.
beat Big Pharma. And guess who cast the tie-breaking vote? Vice President, soon-to-be President Kamala Harris. And now it's the law of the land. Instead of paying $400 a month for insulin, seniors with diabetes will pay $35 a month. The law we passed already includes, starting in January, every senior's total prescription cost can be capped at $2,000 no matter how expensive the drugs they have. And what we don't focus on, and our Republican friends don't seem to understand, our reforms don't just save seniors money, they save the American taxpayers money. You know what we just passed saved? It saved $160 billion over the next decade. That's not hyperbole. It's because Medicare no longer has to pay those exorbitant prices to the big pharma. But look, well, thank you, Kamala, too. Look,
Folks,
The man trying to tell y'all he ain't got too much time left.
how can we have the strongest economy in the world without the best infrastructure in the world? Donald Trump promised infrastructure week every week for 4 years, and he never built a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
But now, because of what Kamala and I have done, remember we were told we couldn't get it done. Remember when we came into office, we couldn't get anything passed? But right now, we're giving America an infrastructure decade, not week. We're modernizing our roads, our bridges, our ports, our airports, our trains, our buses. We're removing every lead pipe from schools and homes so every child can drink clean water. We're providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where they live, not unlike what Roosevelt did with electricity. And so much more. We are uniting the country. We're growing our economy. We're improving our quality of life. And we're building a better America. Because that's who we are. How can we be the strongest nation in the world without leading the world in science and technology? After years of importing 90% of our semiconductor chips from abroad, which America invented those chips. Our Chips and Science Act meant that private companies from around the world are now investing literally tens of billions of dollars to build new chip factories right here in America.
Joe, you got about 5 more good minutes.
And over that period, they'll create tens of thousands of jobs. And many of those jobs in the so-called fabs, the buildings that make the chips,
hey,
are
little
being
baby.
constructed now. And guess what? The average salary in those fabs, size of a football field, will be over $100,000 a year, and you don't need a college degree.
You ain't got to make people feel bad for having a college degree, though. Damn.
Because of you and so many electeds out there. American manufacturing is back. Where the hell to say we wouldn't lead the world in manufacturing? 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. Our Republican friends and others made sure they'd go abroad to get the cheapest labor. We used to import products and export jobs. Now we export American products and create American jobs right here in America, where jobs belong. With every new job, with every new factory, pride and hope is being brought back to communities throughout the country that were left behind. You know you're from them, many of you. You know what it's like when that factory closed, where your mother, your father, your grandmother, grandfather worked. And now you're back, providing once again, proving that Wall Street didn't build America, the middle class built America, and unions built the middle class. It's been my view since I came to the Senate. That's why I'm proud to have been the first president to walk a picket line. And be labeled the most pro-union president in history, and I accept it. It's a fact. Because when unions do well, we all do well. You got it, man. You got it. I agree. I'm proud. Look, remember we told we couldn't get anything done because we couldn't get anything done in the Congress? Well, with your support, We passed the most significant climate law in the history of mankind. For $370 billion. Cutting carbon emissions in half by 2030. Launching a climate corps, similar to AmeriCorps and Peace Corps, creating tens of thousands of jobs for young people of the future who are going to make sure this continues. Creating hundreds of thousands of jobs in clean energy for American workers, including the IBEW installing 500,000 charging stations all across America. And in the process, reducing carbon emissions. And we're seeing it. We're seeing to it that the first beneficiaries of environmental initiatives are those fence-lined communities that have been smothered by the legacy of pollution. Louisiana and Delaware, Route 9. All the factories, all those chemical factories are right next to the poorest neighborhoods. They're the ones we're going to bring back. And how? How can we be the greatest nation in the world without the best education system in the world?
Oh, I'm up, Ravine. I don't know how much longer Joe gonna be up, but I'm up.
Friends, they not only can't think, they can't read very well. Seriously, think about it. Look at their project.
I'm gonna be up for a long time tonight, looking at commentary,
Department of Education,
reading blogs.
During the pandemic, Kamala and I helped states and cities get back their schools back open, and we gave public school teachers a raise. We created apprenticeships with businesses and communities, putting students on a path to a good paying job, whether or not they go to college. And by the way, we're making college a hell of a lot more affordable. Increasing Pell Grants by $900. Over $15 billion to HBCUs. Minority service education, including Hispanic institutions and tribal colleges. We kept our commitment to provide more student relief than ever.
Van Jones ain't shit.
Of helping millions of families so they can get married, start a family, buy a home, and begin to build family wealth and contribute to the community and grow our economy. It's not costing us, it's creating more wealth. We fundamentally transformed how our economy grows, from the middle out and the bottom up instead of the top down. You know, my dad used to say there wasn't a whole hell of a lot to drop down on my kitchen table at the end of the month. I come from a basic middle-class family, 3-bedroom house, 4 kids, a grandpop living with us, decent neighborhood, but never a penny to spare. And look, that top-down notion never worked. A lot of Democrats didn't think it worked, but thought it worked, but it doesn't. And when we did all that, what we've done, everybody can do well. Everybody. Donald Trump calls America a failing nation. No, I'm serious. But think about this. Think about this. He publicly says to the whole world, I'm going to say something outrageous. I know more foreign leaders by their first names and know them well than anybody alive. Just because I'm so damn old. But I'm not joking. Think of the message he sends around the world when he talks about America being a failing nation. He says we're losing.
Girl, TJ, bring me over there,
He's dead wrong.
watermelon. And an extra large coffee, too.
Many of you are very successful people who travel the world. Name me a country in the world that doesn't think we're the leading nation in the world. Without America, not a joke, think about it. I'm being literal. Who could lead the world other than the United States of America? Well, guess what? America's winning. And the world's better off for it. America's more prosperous, and Americans are safer today than they were under Donald Trump. Trump continues to lie about crime in America, like everything else. Guess what? On his watch, the murder rate went up 30%, the biggest increase in history. Meanwhile, we made the largest investment, Kamala and I, in public safety ever. Now, the murder rate is falling.
Yeah, cream and
faster
sugar,
than any
hazelnut,
time in history.
cream.
Violent crime has dropped to the lowest level in more than 50 years. And crime will keep coming down when we put a prosecutor in the Oval Office instead of a convicted felon. And folks, the distinguished senator from the Senator from California and I passed the first ban on assault weapons.
Derek, you the one who said let him cook.
And guess what? It worked.
He's still going. He's still
We
cooking.
care about public safety. We need to prevent gun violence. And what makes me ashamed when I travel the world, which I do, more children in America
Still yelling at
are
people.
killed by a gunshot than any other cause in the United States. More die from a bullet than cancer, accidents, or anything else in the United States of America. My God. That's why Kamala and I are proud. We beat the NRA when we passed the first major bipartisan gun safety law in 30 years. I'm serious. That comes from here. And now it's time to ban assault weapons again.
Right. We done hyped him up on sugar, Geritol, and Red Bull.
Universal
And now he won't
background
go to bed.
checks.
So we need you to go to bed.
It's hard. I never thought I'd stand before a crowd of Democrats and refer to a president as a liar so many times. No, I'm not trying to be funny. It's sad. Trump continues to lie about the border. Here's what he won't tell you. Trump killed the strongest bipartisan border deal in the history of the United States that we negotiated with the Senate Republicans. Took 4 weeks. Once it passed, and never acknowledged the most expansive border change in American history. He called senators to say, don't support the bipartisan bill.
Joe, it's almost
He
midnight
said
on the
it would
East
help me
Coast.
politically and hurt him politically.
People got to go to bed.
My God. No, I'm serious. Think about it. Not a joke. Ask even the press who doesn't like me. They'll tell you that's true. Typically, Trump, once again, putting himself first and America last.
Harold, go around to
Then I
that
had
show
to
with
take executive action.
TJ.
The result of the executive action I took, border encounters have dropped over 50%. In fact, there are fewer border crossings today than when Donald Trump left office. And unlike Trump, we will not demonize immigrants, saying they're the poison of blood of America. Poison the blood of our country. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration, including protecting dreamers and more.
He probably has some Botox, so Jeff.
And here's what else I believe in. Protecting your freedom to vote, your freedom to love who you love. And your freedom to choose. In its decision overturning Roe v. Wade that you heard earlier tonight, the United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, women are not without electoral or political power. No kidding. MAGA Republicans found out the power of women in 2022. And
Now, that's
Donald
that
Trump
Jared
is going
talk.
to
It up
find out
world.
the
Baby,
power of women
listen.
in 2024.
Joe, that's it. Wrap it up. Where's the music?
Watch.
Joe, just try to tell you. I told you only had so much
And
time.
where Trump and his mega Republican right-wingers seek to erase history, the Democrats continue to write
Even Miss
history and
Bates
make
thing on the
history.
West Coast say, listen up,
I'm
Billy. Hold it
proud.
on.
I'm proud to have kept my commitment to appoint the first black woman to the United States Supreme Court.
Joe, is midnight. Sir.
Ketanji Brown Jackson, a symbol for every young woman in America that you can do anything. I'm proud that I've kept my commitment to have an administration that looks like America and that taps in to the full talent of our nation. The most diverse cabinet in history, including the first black woman of South Asian descent to serve as vice president. And will soon serve as the 47th president of the United States. She is good. Look. Thank you, Kamala.
Harold, you supposed to go with TJ to the stove to protect her.
Folks.
Damn, Harold.
I've long said.
Who was that? He was kind
we
of
have
cute.
many obligations as a nation. Well, I got in trouble years ago for saying I'd make no apologies. We have only one truly sacred obligation: to prepare and equip those we send to war and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't. That's why I'm so proud to have written and signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping veterans and their families exposed to toxic materials like burn pits in Agent Orange.
I don't know, Catherine. It's been about 30 minutes.
I was around during the Vietnam War. It's hard. Nobody was able to prove that there's illness was a consequence of Agent Orange. And no one was able to prove initially that because they lived in burn pits like my son lived next to in Iraq for a year, that is the cause of their illness. But because of the PACT Act, a surviving spouse with 2 children is now eligible for a stipend of about $3,000 a month.
Harold, you're supposed to go with TJ to the store.
Who lost a parent are eligible for tuition benefits to go to college and to get job training. It's already helping over 1 million veterans and their families just so far. Well, I love them, and I'm so proud of my son's service. We get it. But guess who doesn't get it?
DNC palate cleanses for the next silly Saturday. I'm going to see what I can do
We
right
know
now.
from his own chief of staff, the 4-star General John Kelly, that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites in one of France. The brave service members who gave their lives to this country. He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is? There's no words for a person. They're not the words of a person not worthy of being commander-in-chief. Period. Not then, not now, and not ever. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Just as no commander-in-chief should ever bow down to a dictator, the way Trump bows down to Putin. I never have, and I promise you, Kamala Harris will never do it. Will never bow down. When Trump left office, Europe and NATO was in tatters. Not a joke. America First doctrine changed our whole image in the world. Well, they gave the hours, about 190 hours sum total, than my counterparts or heads of state in Europe to strengthen NATO. We did. We united Europe like it hadn't been united for years, adding Finland and Sweden to NATO. 10 days before he died, Henry Kissinger called and said, not since Napoleon has Europe not looked over their shoulder at Russia with dread.
His knees
are
asking his knees.
Until now.
He bagging Putin. You know what?
Well, guess what? Putin thought he'd take Kyiv in 3 days. 3 years later, Ukraine is still free. When I came to office, the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. They haven't noticed. No one's saying that now. And we'll keep working to bring hostages home and end the war in Gaza and bring peace and security to the Middle East.
Nobody's clapping for you on that, Joe. That was not a good point for you to make.
Peace treaty for Gaza. A few days ago, I put forward a proposal that brought us closer to doing that than we've done since October 7th. We're working around the clock, my Secretary of State, to prevent a wider war and reunite hostages with their families and surge humanitarian health and food assistance into Gaza now.
You talking noise, Joe. This is not the point for you to make. Not when you send more money over there in bombs.
Finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war.
We don't believe you when you send money and arsenal over there. Don't get me started, Joe. You should have left that alone, Joe.
Those protesters out in the street, they have a point. A lot of innocent people are being killed on both sides. Just as we worked around the clock to bring home wrongfully detained Americans and others from Russia in one of the most complicated swaps in history, but they're home. Kamala and I are going to keep working to bring all Americans wrongfully detained around the world home. I mean it.
You do realize the bombs you're sending over there are being used to help to kill aid workers.
I've got a lot
going over there to feed people and help people. Let me shut up.
I intend to get it done. It's been the honor of my lifetime to serve as your president. I love the job, but I love my country more. I love my country more.
Joe, it's after midnight. It's
all
after
this talk about how I'm
midnight.
angry at all those people who said I should step down. That's not true.
Girl, she ain't crying. She wiping her eyes because she tired.
I love my country more, and we need to preserve our democracy. In 2024, we need you to vote. We need you to keep the Senate. We need you to win back the House of Representatives. And above all, we need you to beat Donald Trump. And elect Kamala and Tim President and Vice President of the United States of America. Look, they'll continue to lead America forward, creating more jobs, standing up for workers, growing the economy, lower the cost to American families so they just have a little more breathing room.
Derek, is he still going to be there? The man in his 80s.
Progress. We have more work to do. And Kamala and Tim will continue to take on corporate greed and bring down cost of food. They'll keep taking on Big Pharma, making insulin $35 a month, not just for seniors, but for everyone in America. And capping prescription drug costs at a total of $2,000, not just for seniors, but for everyone. And folks, that's going to save America again tens of billions of dollars. Folks, they'll make housing more affordable, building 3 million new homes, providing $25,000 down payment assistance for the first-time home buyer, more than the 10 we approved. Donald Trump wants a new tax on imported goods, food, gas, clothing, and more. You know what that will cost the average family, according to the experts? $3,900 a year in a tax. No, that's a fact. Kamala and Tim will make the child care tax credit permanent.
Why don't you let them sell their own policies, Joe?
Lifting millions of children out of poverty and helping millions of families get ahead. But you know what Trump has? He created the largest debt any president had in 4 years with his $2 trillion tax cut for the wealthy. Well, Trump has a new plan. He wants to provide a $5 billion tax cut for corporations that are very wealthy. Put us further in debt. And folks, you know we have 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what their average tax rate they pay? 8.2%. If we just increase their taxes, we proposed to 25%, which isn't the highest tax rate even, it would raise $500 billion new dollars over 10 years.
Joe, he's still up there, TJ.
They'd still be very wealthy. Look, Kamala and Tim are going to make them pay their fair share. They'll protect Social Security and Medicare. Trump wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. Kamala and Tim will protect your freedom. They'll protect your your right to vote. They'll protect your civil rights. And you know Trump will do everything to ban abortion nationwide. Oh, he will. You know, Kamala and Tim will do everything they possibly can. That's why you have to elect the Senate and the House to restore Roe v. Wade.
I think he's trolling us now.
The ancient Greeks taught us that character
push me
is
out.
destiny.
Gonna keep y'all
Character
here.
is destiny. For me and Jill, we know Kamala and Doug are people of character. It's been our honor to serve alongside them. And we know that Tim and Gwen Walz are also people of great character. Selecting Kamala was the very first decision I made when I became our nominee. And it was the best decision I made my whole career. We've not only gotten to know each other, we've become close friends. She's tough, she's experienced, and she has enormous integrity, Her story represents the best American story. And like many of our best presidents, she was also vice president. That's a joke. But she'll be a president our children can look up to. She'll be a president respected by world leaders because she already is. She'll be a president we can all be proud of. And she will be a historic president who puts her stamp on America's future. This will be the first presidential election since January 6th. On that day, We almost lost everything about who we are as a country. And that threat, this is not hyperbole, that threat is still very much alive. Donald Trump says he will refuse to accept the election result if he loses again. Think about that. He means it. Think about that. He's promising a bloodbath if he loses, in his words. And that he'll be a dictator on day one, in his own words. By the way, this sucker means it. No, I'm not joking. Think about it. Anybody else said that in the past, you'd think he was crazy. He is crazy, but you'd think it was an exaggeration, but he means it. We can't let that happen. Folks, all of us carry a special obligation. Independents,
I love
Republicans,
y'all.
Democrats.
I've been live basically since
We saved
4:45.
democracy in 2020, and now we must save it again in 2024.
It's been like almost 8 hours. I've been live 7+ hours.
The vote of each of us cast this year will determine whether democracy and freedom will prevail. It's that simple. It's that serious. And the power is literally in your hands. History is in your hands. Not hyperbole. It's in your hands. America's future is in your hands. Let me close with this. Nowhere else in the world could a kid with a stutter and modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, grow up to sit behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. That's because America is and always has been a nation of possibilities. Possibilities. We must never lose that. Never. Kamala and Tim understand that this nation must continue to be a place of possibilities, not just for the few of us, but for all of us.
At least
join
me. Feel like you about to end at some point,
promising your
Joe.
whole heart to this effort, and where my heart will be. I promise I'll be the best volunteer Harrison Waltz has Cam ever seen. Each of us has a part in the American story. For me and my family, there's a song that means a lot to us. It captures the best of who we are as a nation. The song is called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, and I can't sing worth a damn, so I'm not going to try.
Thank you.
I'll just quote it. The work and prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What shall our legacy be? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you.
Okay, God bless you all and God bless America. That's it, Joe. Look at the people walking out. Time to say God bless you all and God bless America. Come on, Joe. He closed it. You saw him close the folder. Let's clap.
I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I've given my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return for the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president. But I hope you know how grateful I am to all of you. I can honestly say, and I mean this from the bottom, give you my word as a Biden, I can honestly say I'm more optimistic about the future than I was when I was elected as a 29-year-old United States Senator. I mean it. Folks, we just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America.
Okay.
And there's nothing we cannot do when we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
All right, Joe. And with that, that is night one of the Democratic National Convention. For those people looking for the cash, I'm glad I saved the picture of the listen, y'all, that's the Cash App right there. Listen, y'all, that is the farewell speech of, I mean, he'll probably give more speeches before he leaves office, but essentially that's the cap on his career of your president, Joseph Robinette Biden. We did it right. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. We made it to the end. We made it to the end. Oh man, we made it to the end. Yes, I did, y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Yana. Oh man, I got Yana's and I got Crazy Homebody Girl. Thank y'all both for your cash apps. Thank y'all so much. Listen, y'all. That's it. You know, that's the cap of a well, lived life and well done career. Highlights from tonight. AOC was phenomenal. Jasmine Crockett was phenomenal. Raphael Warnock was phenomenal. Hillary Rodham Clinton was phenomenal. There were some great speeches tonight. Some great speeches tonight. When they had those three women, one of them was with her husband that came up and spoke their truths and gave their stories on what they had to endure because of the lifting of abortion rights. All of that. I'm just gonna play this a little while longer before I take it down. But all of that, like I said, oh, thank you, Lexi. Thank you so much. Thank you as well, Lexi, for your Cash App. Thank you all so much for those of you all who sent Cash App. I appreciate that. I really do. But like I said, this is the cap on a well done job on a 50+ year career. And like I said, I know I joked about being on here for 7 hours, but I have been on here for about 7 hours. But it's a labor of love. I'm here for y'all. I'm always here for y'all. I really appreciate it. But I thought it was some great things there. I thought the person, I think you see Jasmine Crockett tonight helped her a lot. I think you see Raphael Warnock tonight helped him a lot. I don't know that Colin Allred wins this election this year. I don't know. But what could that mean for the next senatorial election in Texas, where you may have Jasmine Crockett that may be on the ticket, and then it may be time. So she may have actually, springboarded her career into something like that. Who's to say what that moment's going to mean for Raphael Warnock years from now? We don't know. We just really don't know. I believe Wes Moore is going sometime this week, so we'll see what he can do. I know y'all are tired as I am, so I'll let y'all get to bed certainly tomorrow afternoon. Well, tomorrow we have red, blue, and black with me and Cam, and we'll certainly we'll watch more tomorrow night, but we'll discuss and break down everything we watched today as well. So we'll do that tomorrow. As I always say, don't even think about what. Didn't even think about what. Oh, I don't know. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. Y'all have contributed to the channel tonight. I am eternally grateful. Thank you all for that. We'll be back tomorrow. Wednesday, I'm gonna do the best I can on Wednesday. Because I usually have meetings on Wednesday night, but I'll do the best I can on Wednesday. And and then we'll certainly be here Thursday for the acceptance speech. Thank you all so much for rocking with me all this time. I know it's late on the East Coast, getting late on the West Coast. We'll be back up bright and early in the morning. We'll see y'all again tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, and we'll be right back at it. Let's do this again. Let's rock out and do this again tomorrow. I'll see you all then. Until then, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you later. I can't even say tomorrow. I'll say later today. All right, y'all. Have a good one.